as we always do. Sydney Sweeney gave fans a look at her Australia life by sharing a series of photos on Instagram, captioning the post, "A little Aussie dump." The actor, I know, right? Yeah. Should be her taking a crap. Down. And then the water goes the other way when you flush the toilet.
Look at this, guys. Look at my turds are going in the other direction.
Included several snapshots with boyfriend Scooter Braun. Featuring moments together beside a helicopter during a dinner outing and recreating the famous Titanic pose on a boat as well. Other images show Braun kissing Sweeney on the cheek and the actress attempting to balance on his leg and shoulder in a playful final shot. The photo collection also highlighted time spent with her Gundam co-stars, Javon Wana Walton and Noah Centineo, which they are currently filming together down under. Sweeney and Braun have continued to share glimpses of their relationship since romance rumors first emerged last year, with one source previously saying to us, Sydney has been having a lot of fun with Scooter.
One of the great joys of my life recently has been living vicariously through the world of Sydney and Scooter. It just brings me such joy. I know you've mentioned the same thing, Preston.
Of course. The insider added that it has been low pressure for both of them and has been a different relationship for Sydney, noting that Braun has introduced her to new perspectives, especially when it comes to business.
So this Gundam movie, is that based on the anime?
I would assume so. Right. Yeah, I don't really know. All right, the ongoing feud between Tom Brady and Logan Paul spilled over into the 2026 FIFA World Cup final, where the pair were seen exchanging gestures before being separated by Fanatics CEO Michael Rubin. In footage shared from the event, Paul could be heard telling the former NFL star, "You shouldn't even be here."
Oh, snap.
As the two traded middle fingers from their seats during the match between Spain and Argentina. The tense encounter comes just days after Brady appeared to slap Paul on stage at Fanatics Fest in New York City on Friday, a moment that quickly went viral online. Reacting to the incident, Brady had reposted the clip and called the influencer turned WWE fighter dork. While Paul later claimed he planned on suing the 7-time Super Bowl champion.
Did you call me a dork?
And now the Hollywood Reporter has fueled speculation that the rivalry could be staging for a larger storyline, particularly given Paul's WWE career and Brady's recent comments about professional wrestling. So this is all...
Man, it's orchestrated. You can't believe any fight between these two.
Speaking about...
Thank God I have the world of Sydney and Scooter to retreat back into.
Speaking about a potential appearance in the ring on Thursday, Brady joked, saying, I've seen Logan Paul do it. I think I could get in there for at least one match, right? And then he added, I'm a bad guy. I've always been a bad guy, is what he said.
He always looks like he's in mid-dump. Yeah. That he has that strained face.
Yeah.
Maybe he looks weird.
Maybe he is. He did, for all we know.
So he stays in shape.
Could have one.
He's like me. He doesn't cry. He poops.
He poops, yeah. All right, Jason Sudeikis was a guest on the show recently when the subject of tipping came up. Sudeikis said, leaving a weak tip teaches a poor server nothing unless you give them a reason. He said, because if someone is not good, like a waiter or waitress at a diner-type place, they're just brusque and not checking in. If you've only tipped 10%, they're going to walk away from there going, boy, what an a-hole. Versus if you're going to tip 10%, I think you have to leave a note saying I normally tip more, but you were so-and-so, or you should say it to them as well. I saw, this is an interesting observation about Jason Sudeikis in a moment at the World Cup. I didn't watch any of it, so I saw a clip of him and Coach Beard as, they were in character, and they are on the sideline, and then they introduce, or they go over and they talk to Justin Bieber before he does the halftime thing. And here's where it's gone for me now is I'm sitting there looking at this, and I'm going, I don't think it's real. I don't think it's real. Right. And I stop for a moment and I live with it. I'm like, that sucks. That I have to look at this and go, I don't think this is real. Wow. I know it's real. Yeah. But looking at it and the background and the way it was filmed and everything, I'm like, I just, I'm not buying it.
Well, yeah, and that's the world. We've been trained to do that.
It sucks.
Yeah, and I get it. And and probably better to default to that in this day and age and then be pleasantly surprised when it turns out to be real.
Well, I will say that the entire halftime show was shot very slickly. It started in the like in the hallways of the MetLife Stadium,
Right.
With the Madonna and all these people on roller skates and her in a dune buggy, and I was like, okay, is this actually happening in real time?
Right.
And as it turns out, it wasn't. But I thought the whole production was really
top level.
slickly shot.
I only saw a little bit of it.
Yeah.
It did look good.
It really was. I mean,
Yeah, that's part of what threw me off was the actual production, the actual video, the way the video looked.
Yep.
I'm like, this doesn't look like it's actually
Liars.
happening right now.
It
You're
didn't.
liars.
And it didn't until it did.
But it was slick.
Yeah.
You're right. That's a good word for it. So, all right, moving on. Bella Hadid made headlines over the weekend being seen with a mystery cowboy. Later ID'd by the Daily Mail as project manager Nathan Lacey. And while many believed that she had found a new man after her split from former boyfriend Aiden Benuelos, TMZ is reporting it's not like that.
Okay, because I was worried. I thought she was with Pecos Pete.
No, Lacey is reportedly the brother of one of Bella's close friends, Rachel Lacey, and they're just buds. That's all there is to it.
I think when you're Hadid and you go out with anybody, there's going to be speculation.
Yeah.
It's just the world. It's just the way of the Hadid.
Yeah, and the guy, we're looking at a picture of Marissa just pulled up a photo. He's wearing a cowboy hat, Steve, and he looks like, man, I forgot the actor's name from Tombstone. He played Ringo. The bad guy.
Yes.
He's from
Stephen
Terminator.
Lang.
Stephen Lang, yeah. He looks like him. Looks
Right.
a lot
It was
like
Stephen
him.
Lang, right?
No, not Stephen Lang. That was he played a different character. The guy who was in Terminator.
Michael Biehn.
Michael Biehn. Thank you. Yes. All right, moving on. Ice-T is a legendary rapper, of course, established actor. So for him, fanboying over somebody seems a little bit unlikely. However, he did just that, and it's funny who it's over. His fellow Nation's Dumbest castmates said that he geeked out over Napoleon Dynamite star John Heder.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
I love that.
He said, when I saw him, I was like, holy S. I was the most excited to meet, really, him, he said. The two appear on the game show on Wednesdays at 9 o'clock on Fox. So I haven't watched the show. I don't know what it's about, but
What's
looking
the
at
name of it
pictures,
again?
looks like fun.
It's the dumbest. What's it?
Nation's Dumbest.
I'm
Okay.
like so intrigued and so annoyed by it.
Okay.
Why?
Because it's putting a bunch of celebrities together to see who's the dumbest celebrity.
Okay.
And I'm very intrigued to see how smart or how actually dumb these people are.
Okay.
And that they're actually putting themselves out like this.
Right.
That's all.
But you don't like it, you said?
I can't. I'm like torn.
Okay.
I'm intrigued and annoyed.
Okay. Because why are you annoyed?
I don't know. Just like I said, these celebrities are putting themselves out like that, saying I'm the dumbest person, but I'm not. But also proving they're not the dumbest person. So what little clips are they gonna catch of these
They're
people
gonna
saying stuff?
They're going to shatter your image of celebrities being brilliant. And that's why-
Exactly, Steve. I really hold this high regard for all of these people.
There you go.
Speaking of brilliant celebrities, Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's right.
Haven't talked about Charlie
Brilliant.
in a little while.
Sorry, I'm just turning the engine over in the morning. Got to get it up.
Oh my God. His daughter,
Yeah.
Sammy Sheen, wants everyone to know that her upscale lifestyle is totally self-financed and dad isn't helping out.
Big whoopsie. I was accidentally spanking it to her side.
Oh,
Before I
Jesus.
realized.
Oh my God.
Is that my little daughter?
She said, look, if I had daddy's money, I would own it, okay? I would let you guys know.
She's very eloquent.
She was telling this on TikTok, and the OnlyFans creator continued saying, these comments make me so frustrated because this man hasn't given me a dime in over 4 years. I've been fully financially supporting myself since I was 18 years old.
And I made you into the woman you are today.
And then she got more specific and said, my dad did not get me the beach house, she said, in reference to the new home she recently purchased. And then she said, these, and grabbed her boobs. She said, these did. And she said, so go subscribe.
That's right.
Oh,
Have fun, folks.
Yeah.
I saw this random video that popped up, and it was a woman who's clearly an Instagram influencer. Obviously super attractive, Preston.
Yep.
And what is she doing? She's taking you around a tour around her Miami beachfront, super expensive condo, the kind that has the car that comes up in the, in the building, an elevator for the car. and it's all off of that
Really?
modeling money. And so either there was speculation in the comments that it could be just that plus a sugar daddy or two.
Right.
But still, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder, what the ratio is of people who get real fortune
Right.
out of doing the OnlyFans thing,
Sustainable.
and what people don't. Yeah,
Sustainable fortune.
Well, for an amount of time until you're not looking the way people want you to look anymore.
Exactly.
It's just we all grow and change, and so we'll have to wait and see how that pans out. But some people are making a mint. I would imagine not everybody is making.
No, Lord knows I'm not.
On that. All right. This is the most exciting news of the day, in my humble opinion. Marvel Studios has finally released the official trailer for the highly anticipated Avengers Doomsday, teasing a massive crossover between Marvel's biggest franchises, and it looks awesome.
So I posted after it came up. I said, is my calcified Marvel nerve center, is it been reawakened?
Yeah.
It had.
It has.
It looks, and people say, you're just cameoing it up. Yeah, that's all the people I want to see.
I don't care.
And then they look cool.
Cameo it up.
Yeah, and Thor being Thor instead of an imbecile.
Yeah. Yeah, they got off the mark with that last Thor movie. All right, so teasing Robert Downey Jr.'s revival as Dr. Doom, the trailer features a chilling warning from Thor saying, "I've fought with many warriors in my time. They died facing enemies and threats that scared me far less than this one. The stakes couldn't be higher for Earth's mightiest heroes and will collide multiple Marvel universes together, including the Avengers, Fantastic Four, and X-Men."
And Preston, who's getting some good screen time, Gambit.
Yeah, big time. I'm excited about that. Scheduled to arrive in theaters December 18th. Also, Avengers Doomsday shares a release date with Dune Part 3.
Oh my God!
It's Doom's a day.
Which they are officially dubbing Doomsday, and I'm telling you, Casey and I were talking. I might have to do a double feature that very day.
Yep.
So,
because I am gaga about both. Totally,
You've got
I have a Marvel boner.
Dune Doomsday boner. The running time on Doomsday is 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Not long enough. I need it to be 5 hours.
Yeah. So here is the rundown in the trailer of characters featured. You have the entire Fantastic Four. So Sue Storm, Reed Richards, Ben Grimm, and Johnny Storm are all there. For the Avengers, you have Steve Rogers.
No.
Oh, my God. Thor, Ant-Man, Cassie Lang, who is Ant-Man's daughter, Sam Wilson, who's playing Captain America now, Loki, and Shang-Chi, which I was really cool. I thought that was really cool to see him back.
Yeah, they never did a second movie.
They did not, and I love it. Now, from the X-Men, you have Professor X, Magneto, Cyclops, all played by the classic
The originals.
actors, the
Yeah,
originals.
so good.
Nightcrawler, Beast, Mystique. The new Avengers, Yelena Boleva, John Walker, Bucky Barnes, and Red Guardian. Also, Ghost and Sentry are part of that. Louis Pullman's going to be playing Sentry. And then from Black Panther, Shuri, Falcon, M'Baku, Atuma, Namora, and Namor are all in this. So
Namor is the Aquaman guy?
Yeah.
The Submariner.
Yeah.
So Submariner, who preceded Aquaman, I believe.
Okay. Yeah.
But in the comic books, they call him, in this, they always call him Namor. They call him Namor.
Yeah.
In this. So I like Namor. That's the way he originally came to the. I was a big Submariner fan because he was kind of pissed off.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yep. So that's exciting news. And that's not all when it comes to superhero stuff. Ryan Reynolds is on record insisting that Deadpool and Wolverine wrapped up the Merc with the Mouth story, with the possible exception of some Marvel cameos. However, there might be another film starring Deadpool on the way. Speaking at Fanatics Fest, Ryan Reynolds had admitted that there are still some things from the comics that he would like to bring to screen. He said there's a few really deep cuts that I think are missing behind the movies. I think there's a few deep cuts missing from some of the comics. There's some stuff upcoming. There's eventually, he said, remotely, another Deadpool film, and it's going to be great.
The last one was so good.
Yep.
And I know, the majority of people that I know loved it. Some people were conflicted over it. Take as much time as you need to make it good.
Yeah.
and that's all. Because it's so rich with dialogue.
Yep.
And so many. One moment leads to another moment leads to 3 different moments that are all great.
Yep.
You know?
So we may get another one. Well, let's see. It's a ways off from that happening. And then finally, another superhero story. Since the announcement of Sadie Sink's casting in the upcoming Spider-Man Brand New Day, speculation has run rampant over exactly who she's going to be playing. Yesterday, the studio posted a video revealing 3 things about her role in the upcoming Marvel film. She said in the clip, "Since the trailer dropped, I've seen so many theories about who I'm playing. To match your incredible energy, I've decided to give you 3 exclusives and confirmed answers right now. Those 3 things," she said, "I can confirm I'm not Spider-Man." And then she added that she is not Aunt May, who died in 2021, Spider-Man No Way Home. And the final big reveal, she said, "Third, I can definitely confirm that I am in this movie." So she gave us nothing, pretty much. Just a little teaser thing. That will be in theaters July 31st. It's coming up, man,
And that
next
looks,
week.
That looks good.
Yeah.
So let's see how it's wild that we're going to clear a lot of the summer and then start to move into this really cool premiere time.
Yeah, man, it's going to get exciting later.
Yep.
All right, Point Break
Back off, war child, seriously.
is coming back to theaters to celebrate the film's 35th anniversary.
Seriously.
The 90s crime thriller, of course, starred Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze, as Reeves' character Johnny Utah infiltrates a gang of bank robbers who call themselves the ex-presidents. Gary Busey, Lori Petty, John C. McGinley, and many others star in it as well. The re-release will hit theaters on August 16th and August 19th.
I thought it'd be cool if they did a remake, or and they actually in that group. Obviously, some have passed away, Patrick Swayze and so on and so forth. But one of the ex-presidents was legitimately like George Bush. Like it was an actual. One of the presidents got in on it.
Yeah, an actual ex-president.
An actual ex-president.
I think it'd be a nice twist.
That would be a waste of time.
No, I don't think so.
I don't know. Nearly 17 years after its box office run, a sequel to Jennifer's Body may be on the way.
I'm a fan of that movie.
Never saw it.
Yeah, so it was Diablo Cody wrote the screenplay, and it has Amanda Seyfried's in it. She's really good, as is Megan Fox is really good. It has a darker comedic element to it that's really cool.
What's the story?
Basically, there's this band Megan Fox gets with. She sleeps with them. She becomes this flesh-eating quasi-vampire type thing.
Okay.
And so she's basically eating the football star. Did you see it, Marissa?
I did not.
Yeah, but it has a dark comedic sensibility that I really like. And it's pretty gory.
It's become a cult favorite over the years, with fans hoping for a sequel year after year. Now their hopes may finally be coming true. The project has not been officially announced, but it's rumored. The movie is set to begin filming this October. Director Karen Kusama is reportedly returning to helm the sequel. Diablo Cody, like you said, wrote the first movie, is apparently the writer on the sequel as well. So
good.
That could be a good thing. Yep.
I wonder if Megan Fox is coming back for it.
Yeah, I do not know, or Amanda Seyfried. They haven't mentioned that yet. So in a world where reboots are everywhere, one that has been brought up regularly is a reboot or sequel to the 1996 film Matilda. Mara Wilson, who played the film's title character, shared at a Fanboy Expo panel that a sequel was certainly possible, but she didn't think a sequel centered around a hypothetical daughter for Matilda would work. Matilda had developed powers as a child, and about that, Wilson said that her powers come from the bad things that she went through. And the whole point is that she overcame these things, and she found power in educating herself and in making friends with these people who were really lovely. And so I don't think Matilda would raise her daughter to be in a position where she developed those powers to protect herself.
So I think what she could do is a buddy movie with her and Carrie, since they're essentially the same,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
They were, unpleasant childhoods, and they develop powers and make it funny.
She also thought the bar for the potential husband for the character is incredibly high. She said, "Who's good enough for Matilda?" So Matilda's such an awesome character that I can't imagine who she would marry and have kids with, So I don't know if it'll ever
Scott
happen.
Disick.
Oh, yeah, that's the one. All right, and then one last story. Things are about to get chaotic in the world of the vampire Lestat. Showrunner Rollin Jones has confirmed plans for Interview with the Vampire Season 4, and how it ramps up after the season 3 cliffhanger ending.
So I was a fan of the movie, and I watched a little bit of the first season of this. It didn't speak to me.
The latest season saw Lestat touring the country in a rock band, determined to tell his side of the story after the publication
Ready to suck some blood, people?
of Lewis's account during Interview with Vampire. This culminates in a final rock concert promoting the Great Conversion, which is the idea of spreading vampirism across the world. Jones revealed that season 4 will pull from the third book in Anne Rice's The Vampire Chronicles series, Queen of the Damned.
Let me ask you if this works for you. I have this idea. Well, why don't you do vampire instead of Lestat? Vampire stat. Make it like the Pit. He works in a hospital.
We need a vampire
Yeah.
stat.
Lost another one.
I like that.
And they don't know he's a vampire. Like, oh, how did we lose this patient?
The AMC show has officially been renewed, but the show is exceeding the streamers' expectations. So a season 4 is considered a certainty at this point. So it's doing well. All right, I do have some clips to play. Lot Patrol follows a group of misfit security guards trying to protect a Hollywood studio lot. And here, TK Kirkland reveals how a majority of his performance was improvised.
Now, really just impromptu, the whole thing. And they said that it turned out to be a phenomenal part of the show. And I'm still shocked when they still say TKU was hilarious in the show.
Shut up, dummy.
New episode of Lot Patrol airs tonight. That's at 10 p.m. on BET. Here's our next clip. The adventures of a humble propane salesman and his family continue in King of the Hill. Here, showrunner Saladin Peterson explains what his goal was in reviving the series.
Deliver something that honored the original, that was somehow able to recapture what made the original special with the characters and the world and relatability, and make it feel relevant to today.
Wow. All episodes of season 15 of King of the Hill streams today, and you can find that on Hulu if you want to check that out.
I started watching it yesterday.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
really good. Did you guys watch the last season, 14?
I didn't watch none of it.
I early on when the show came out, I watched it and I liked it. I
It's always a good show.
Really funny,
Yeah.
very well written. It just didn't grab me for all the years. But did you like what you saw?
Yeah, it's really good. It's a fun continuation of the characters.
Cool. All right, that's the entertainment report, folks. We got a bunch to get to. New Word of the Week prize. You're going to love this 4-pack of lower level seats as MMR rocks Foo Fighters and Queens of the Stone Age. This is going to be Thursday, August 13th at Lincoln Financial Field. You could be there, my friend. So collect those letters. We start doing it at the end of the program. We have a guest today, KC Navarro of TNA Impact Live. It's going to be in our studio. And like Casey was saying, it's his birthday today.
Birthday.
Which is pretty, or you said that, right?
We all said it.
Yeah. So we will have him in around 9 o'clock this morning and get the skinny on what to expect for the event coming up next week. We're going to take a quick break, come back in just a moment. So please stay with us on this Tuesday morning. We'll return shortly. On landlines and ask them for the best predictions about a year in the distant future, 2025. So they had to make predictions. This is an old survey.
I love this, yes.
And they're now
When was the survey conducted?
1998.
Okay.
So a polling archives
71 years ago.
Maintained by the Roper Center at Cornell University.
Run by Mr. Roper.
And Mr. Furley was the president at the time. So here's a look back on some of them held up. Some were surprisingly prescient. Most Americans predicted that over the next 27 years, the country would have elected a black president, gay marriages would be legal and commonplace, and a deadly new disease would have emerged. Most people in 1998 correctly doubted that space travel would be common for ordinary Americans or that alien life forms would have made contact by now. So they got those.
Go figure, right?
Yeah, they got those correct. Here are some of the other ones. 68% believed that physician-assisted suicide would be commonplace. It's become more commonplace.
Yeah.
67% said an environmental catastrophe will have occurred. 66% said that the country would have elected a woman president. That hasn't happened yet, obviously. 64% said illicit drug use, such as marijuana and cocaine, would be commonplace. They got the marijuana part right.
Absolutely.
61% said that people would routinely live to be 100 years old. Not quite that.
Yeah.
60% said that AIDS would be cured.
Well, we're there.
Pretty much
yeah,
happened.
pretty much it.
Yeah.
I mean, they stopped. This is the last year for the AIDS walk.
Yeah, and the AIDS fund is over. Yeah, so 59% believe that cancer would be cured by now. They're making inroads, but that's not, obviously that hasn't
Just reading
happened.
an article that there are more people surviving cancer now than ever before.
I'm sure, yeah. This 56% said that most stores would be replaced by shopping on the internet.
Yeah.
Quite a bit of that has happened.
Getting there, yeah.
52% most people said most people would do their jobs from home.
A lot
of that has happened. And 51% said the United States would be involved in a full-scale war between then and now, 1998 and now, 1998 and now. What they thought would be less likely to happen. Do I have time?
Yes.
Okay. 38% or 67% that cars would not be largely replaced by mass transportation, so that hasn't happened. Cloning of humans would be commonplace.
Not the case.
But 60% said no, it would not be the case. 65% said that most people would not be self-employed.
What about unequivocal confirmation of space gorillas?
That wasn't asked.
All right.
Although it said 68% believe that humans would not have or received contact from alien life forms
All
by
right.
now.
So it falls under that category.
Yeah, most believe there are a few bright spots in Americans' outlook. Most believed that race relations would improve and that medical care would be more available if less affordable. Well, neither one of those has happened. And also, they didn't think that space travel would be common for ordinary Americans, but they got that right. So it's kind of an interesting peek back and look at 1998 and what people thought would happen by 2025. And that's your survey. It was an overcast day when I pulled into the area on January 12th, 1996. I drove from St. Louis. I packed up all my stuff in my Camaro.
Yes.
And,
perfect car to move in.
And hit the road. And I paused on the way. I didn't drive straight through. It's like a 16-hour drive or
World's
something.
biggest ball of yarn.
There are things to see. No, I stopped in Wheeling, West Virginia, and I stayed for one night. And then the next day I get up and I made my drive into the area, and then I set up camp, and I've been here for 30 years. So it marks that timestamp today.
It is well worth taking time, and as we said earlier, and repeated a couple times in case people are saying, wow, Preston's really going off on this. We were the ones that wanted to do this because it just seemed like an interesting ability because of the realizing that the blizzard of 96 was right at the time you came here.
Yeah.
And you rarely get that time to kind of just sort of, everyone was getting nostalgic anyway, looking at all the pictures and the archival pictures and the Inquirer and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, my life shifted dramatically in all fantastic ways. And we were also lauding the power of the city of Philadelphia and the great people of Philadelphia who've done so much for all of us in immeasurable ways. And it was worth, as we thought, paying tribute to that.
It was a leap of faith in my world and my wife specifically. We'd only been dating for like 2 months, and she agreed to move here.
She hadn't gotten the detective's report back on you.
Not yet.
Yeah.
No, we were still waiting for that to clear, so she had no idea. But thus is the world of living in radio at the time can be very transient. You can expect to pack up your stuff and leave and go to another city because formats change, positions get switched out, and then all this. So I was not planning on this being my forever at the time because I was just being realistic about it. I'll probably stay here for a few years and then I'll have to go somewhere else,
But it would be safe to say that the impetus for the move and the leap of faith was greatly fueled by your belief in this gentleman we're going to talk to.
Yes, definitely. And speaking of that, Steve, you had asked, do I remember what that day was like when I pulled into town? I absolutely do. It was gray. It was overcast. There was snow on the ground everywhere.
About
the
3
streets.
feet.
The streets were clear. Everything was good. It was very drivable. I didn't have any problem with that. So that was a big concern that I had. But I eventually made my way to the Pennsylvania Turnpike. I get off at the Willow Grove exit on 611. And it was at that point. Now, mind you didn't have GPS.
Right, yeah.
Cell phones were still sketchy at that time. So I pulled over and I went to a payphone somewhere. There's a gas station or something. I pulled over And I called the gentleman who we're going to talk to now, and I said, how do I get to the radio station? And then he gave me the directions the rest of the way and from there. So that's how it worked out.
Just follow the old people.
Yeah, to the Benson East building.
Yeah.
But the guy that gave me a job, that changed my life, that created the career that I have now, is joining us now. It's our good friend and former boss, Mr. Jim McGuinn, who's joining us via Zoom this morning. Hey, Jim.
Hey, guys. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Nice to see you, brother.
Hey, don't worry. In another 30 years, you'll actually be considered a local. So you're almost there. You're halfway.
It takes a
Being
while.
a Philadelphian.
Yeah, it takes a while, most definitely. Jim, by the way, how much sooner than I were you in Philadelphia? Like maybe a month or something like that?
No, I got here around, I think it was Halloween. I feel like G Love was playing as I was like a show in town the day I drove into town. And I was like, oh, I've heard of G Love. Like that's how new I was as well. Because I moved here. Like end of October, 95. Yeah.
Jim and I knew each other from St. Louis. He programmed another radio station. I worked at a separate station, but I was in the programming department. So we met each other at concerts, at events, things like that. We knew each other through record people, and we played golf a few times.
We played golf together, and I think you get to know somebody when you're doing that, right? And even though you were Kenny Knight, the top 40 guy, I was like, oh, that guy's pretty cool. Do I call him Kenny? Do I call him Preston? I still feel that way a little bit.
Well, there's a little bit of Kenny in everyone.
And you know what? What kind of did it? So Jim got the opportunity to move to Philadelphia and helm WDRE. I had gotten word that he was leaving, so I just called and left a voicemail, and I said, hey, man, sorry to hear you're leaving, but then again, I'm glad you're leaving. Because he was a formidable competitor.
He was tearing
He'd done
it up.
wonderful things with the radio station, the Point in St. Louis. And I'm like, I'm kind of glad you're leaving, and I'm not happy you're leaving. Anyway, and I said, good luck. And then, like, the next day, I get a call back, and he's like, hey, you didn't need to do that. That was really nice. And you go, and you were in a unique position that you needed to hire an entire staff.
Yeah, so, and Steve knows this story as well. So DRE was a station that was actually owned by the people that owned WLIR in Long Island. And it was simulcasting mostly from the Long Island station. And my whole pitch to the ownership, because the station had terrible ratings in Philadelphia, I said, maybe you should put some local hosts on that could program it for Philly instead of these Long Island folks. And so they agreed. And so I had to put a whole staff together. And that wasn't easy.
Isn't it amazing to think, Jim, that the same thing that sullies a lot of the industry is that, well, we'll just broadcast from another location, was the argument that you fought successfully against, created a version of DRE that easily eclipsed the New York version at that time. There was a lot of indecisiveness that was going on. So, and then DRE became this buzz station. And so you're off and running.
Yeah. And, I lived in Philly for 3 months back in like 91. And so I had a smidge of understanding, but not much. And I'd also lived in Vermont. So when the blizzard hit, I was like, what do you mean you can't make it into the radio station? Don't you have 4-wheel drive in your car? Haven't you ever driven in a 3-foot snowstorm before?
I remember you telling me when I got there that you ended up like sleeping at the radio station and people had to pull doubles and just to make it work.
And the Benson East was quite a luxurious radio station compound that we were operating out of.
It was. I love the stories of people who arrived because Preston was recounting last week as we were sort of talking about doing this thing today. Jim has said, this is going to be obviously this is going to be a high tech. This is going to be the pinnacle. It's a major market, and it was like lower than the lowest. Again, it was in a facility that was essentially a retirement complex. There were a few restaurants. It's just a bizarre collection of businesses and things. And then there you were. But in as much as that was the case, it also helped breed the attitude that you were looking to cultivate.
Yeah. I mean, it was definitely an us against the world kind of thing, or us against our own company, who were nice people. But it was just like, why they put the radio station there? I mean, it's hard to get to Jenkintown from almost anywhere in the Philadelphia metro, and we had to go there every day. And this is before you had, automation and voice tracking, and the overnight person had to get there and be there live. Everybody was there all the time. Yeah.
So Jim, I had I came here sight unseen. I packed my stuff and I came. I never visited. I trusted.
I guess I'm a better salesperson than I thought.
I trusted Jim, and not only did I have dreams of a gleaming high-tech studio with all the bells and whistles and toys, but not only that,
I better get my monorail pass.
I also had a dream of the concrete jungle in the city, skyscrapers. I'll be in the middle of it all right here downtown.
Yeah.
And I pull into Jenkintown and that building, and I'm like, wow, okay, well, all right, so I'm not there because I didn't ask any questions.
Yeah.
I just showed up, and then I walk into the actual studio, and Brett Hamilton was on the air. He was our midday guy, and I was so disappointed. And he could see it on my face because I'm sitting there and I'm just kind of looking around. I'm looking at this crappy blue foam on the walls and, all of these and taking it in. And Brett, without me saying a word to him, he just looks at me and goes, yeah, I thought the same thing when I first came in here, too. I was like,
on 93.3 WMMR.
All right, thank you very much, Marissa. By the way, how absolutely lovely was yesterday weather-wise?
Well,
I mean, that's what summer is supposed to be like.
And sadly, we have had scant few days like that. We've had, Marissa, you pointed out at the beginning of this summer that last summer was incredibly rainy. We've had that. We've had steamy humidity.
Yep.
And yesterday reminded you of just how royally after we've been
I know.
this whole summer.
But I made sure to be outside quite a bit yesterday.
So great, right?
It's wonderful,
It's good for your soul.
We're getting a little rain today, and then by Thursday and Friday and Saturday are looking fantastic, like low 80s and sunshine. So we got it. We're getting here at not the end of summer, but late into summer.
Been to the shores on Sunday. I was looking at the weather for then.
What are you getting?
It looks pretty good.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's going to be. I mean, we leave early, right? 7 a.m. So it's going to be in like the 70s, going into the 80s, and partial clouds. Like that's exactly what you want. And then also, you want an easterly wind. Easterly.
Right.
Pushing you that way, giving you a little assist. All right. But if the weather is lovely, you may not want to spend much time in Alverthorpe Park in Abington Township.
Oh, yeah?
They have aggressive Canadian geese there. And officials say the birds have attacked residents and fouled walkways and playgrounds with all their poop.
And so that's a natural thing. But to rub salt in the wound is that they're little pricks.
Yeah. Is there a season where they have babies? Because in my neighborhood, there was a mom and dad goose, and they had goslings and all that.
Yeah.
But that was just a couple of months ago. I'm wondering if they're aggressive because of that.
I don't know.
Right.
I haven't seen any of the babies lately. I saw them a couple of months ago.
Okay.
I think they're growing into their own right now.
So up in New York, there's Eisenhower Park, Long Island, and the geese there were particularly aggressive for a long time, and that seemed to be all the time.
Yeah.
They were obviously they flew south during the winter, but for the time they were there, they were just insufferable little bastards.
So Abington Township has approved the plan with the U.S. Department of Agriculture to deal with them. The contract warns the mounting geese droppings may be degrading the park's water quality. USDA spokesperson said that a single goose can deposit up to a pound of feces each day. That's
like
cranking
me.
some. Patricia Platt, Abington's assistant parks director, said it's a mess. And curb the problem, the town and the USDA approved a waterfowl harassment program.
All right.
Yeah.
An actual harassment program designed to drive the geese out of the park. Officials said USDA crews start with low-level deterrence before ramping up to more aggressive goose control measures if necessary. So between now and June of next year, USDA workers will use lasers, remote control boats, visual deterrence, and pyrotechnics to remove the geese.
They're going Iron Man on those geese.
I want to be a part of the remote control boats division.
Like the same thing. It's
Yes.
like a PT boat, like a gun boat.
Get out and have them zip
Yeah.
around. I had for a little while. We have a swimming pool, I bought, or Rochelle got me, or somebody as a gift got me a little RC boat.
Same
it
thing.
was so much fun.
So I used to go to Eisenhower Park because they had a big pond, like a big pond where people had like RC battleships. You could put stuff like that and submarines and stuff. It was cool. But over time, the geese mucked up the water so bad.
Oh, really?
Listen, I get it. It's outside the geese. That's where they're going to go. But again, it was the attitude of the geese.
Yeah.
That you just couldn't tolerate.
Yeah.
All right, so it's like a two-pronged thing. It's the poop as well as they're going after people.
I think they'd probably be more accepting of the poop and poop mitigation if it wasn't that they're literally going after people.
We had this issue a couple of years back over in Jersey.
The turkey?
No. It was geese. Don't you remember we sent?
Yes.
I think we sent Joe out there or something.
Case was I think it was a prefabbed pond in the middle of a development, like a recently built development.
Yeah.
And they were attacking people, and we sent, was it Todd Brad over?
Was it Todd Brad? That's what it was.
Covered
so.
in bread to see if they would attack.
So we've got geese all over my area. We live in a golf course community.
Yeah.
Geese, there's a lot of open areas and there's water, so they flock. They literally flock to golf courses. So I see them regularly. And playing golf, I was playing yesterday. I came within as close as Casey and I are to some geese, and they will hiss at you.
They do hiss.
I have never had one aggressively come after me before. I haven't had them snap or anything like that, but apparently they can.
I had a swan do that.
Okay.
And swans are there's classic footage of them. America's Funniest Home Videos is filled with like bridal parties down by a pond taking pictures, and the pissed off swan will attack.
Yeah, they're
Stop looking at me, Swan.
they're very territorial.
Yeah, very
they
much
will,
so.
They will do that. So approximately 35 visits of harassment will be conducted throughout the spring and fall seasons, according to the contract. Despite the name, the pyrotechnics that they're going to use are not fireworks. They are propane-powered noisemakers used to frighten the geese. So I assume it's like a loud popping sound or something like that.
Or you could have exploding fake swans.
I saw video footage one time of a golf course where there was a gopher that was digging around.
Oh my God.
And
Probably
they
ruined everything.
blew the whole damn thing up.
I saw that documentary.
Yeah.
You got to watch that.
Yeah.
Did he like to dance, the gopher?
Yes. You've seen the documentary I saw. Yeah.
All right, so we had we rented a house down the shore, and there was
Goose Manor.
It was not Goose Manor. No, but it wasn't a goose. It was a different kind of bird that attacked us. We had to stop going out the front door. This thing just kind of hung out by the front door. It was a bird that goes, you know that like. I don't know what kind of bird that is. I think we called them catbirds.
No, catbirds aren't. They don't know. Man, catbirds actually. I have some in my backyard, and I use that app to identify them. They have actually a very beautiful song.
Okay. Yeah, you know what bird I'm talking about, right?
I believe so. Yes.
The radio guy's here.
Jays kind of make that sound. Blue
Jays do.
But it wasn't a blue jay.
Okay.
It wasn't even like a pretty bird. It was just kind of like
Pretty bird.
Was it a Ray J?
It was not a Ray J. It was like just one of those gray birds.
Yeah.
with
Gray
an
bird.
attitude.
Okay. Because I had identified a new bird in my area. It's become my theme.
You're
lately.
becoming a fan of the avian world.
It was a fisher crow. And it was kind of like, it's making that noise. Hold on, Ryan. Maybe are you a birder, Ryan?
I am not a birder, but I had a similar experience to Casey with outside of the door. When I was living in Daytona Beach, I walked out my door and there was a blue heron just standing.
Oh, yeah.
Right on, and
They're big.
would not let me leave. Like I was like, all right, I'm just trying to go to class here, and this thing would just start walking.
Go
in. I'm
back
like,
inside, Ryan.
Yeah, I had to lean out the window to get a broom just to kind of push it, like please, go somewhere else.
All right, so if you we'll open up the phones. If you have stories along the lines of an animal that is essentially holding you hostage,
Right.
or has you in fear of going to this place or walking by this area and it doesn't have to be birds. It could be, I know we've had, nuisance dogs that were like, I'm not going anywhere near that house.
I can add to that. We had it's over by the 100 Steps when we were in Manayunk. There was this big pissed off groundhog. You would walk through this bottleneck part to get out to a larger park and then go on the trail, the Wissahickon Trail. You can go one or two ways. You can go down the 100 Steps or take this way. And then where it's sort of bottlenecked, this thing would come tearing out. And I'm like, this effing thing's got to have rabies.
Yeah.
The only time it wouldn't do that was when I was with my dog, Chelsea. But this thing, it's like, forget it. For a while, we just had to keep using the 100 stairs because it's just, no, I'm not going to risk it. This thing was pissed. It was ruining my life.
Casey, some people are texting in, and it may be a cat bird that you're talking about. And somebody texted in and said it might be a mockingbird.
Maybe I'm a mockingbird. I'm on the radio.
Those have been known to be aggressive.
Okay.
I have
you know
heard.
what? Let me look. I'm
Yeah, see
going
if
to
I-
look it up.
I got a scream spot.
Find a picture of a mockingbird and see if that might be what was going on here. 610-660-9333 if you want to share your story. By the way, so besides these pyrotechnics and lasers that they're going to be using to deter the geese in Abington Township, it's at a particular park. It's at where was the name of that? At the Alverthorpe Park. Goose eggs will also be discarded, and the USDA says that it may euthanize up to 150 birds if the geese begin molting, which is a period when they shed feathers and temporarily lose their ability to fly. So I guess they're easier to catch.
Right.
If they
take mass transit.
If they do end up euthanizing them, the meat will be donated for residents to eat. The goose crackdown comes with a $15,000 price tag for the year-long contract as well.
That's actually more economical than I thought it would have been.
The latest
lasers and all that crap.
The latest plan is just the newest chapter in the town's long-running battle. Abington officials have weighed several tactics over the years to rein in the town's growing goose problem.
I wonder if they would hire someone to get inside intelligence, like to dress as a goose and go down and just sort of hang, see what the chatter is in the pond.
You come showing up in the Wawa costume.
Right.
What's the name of the bird? The Wawa's goose? He's got a name.
Oh, really? The mascot?
Yeah.
Wally?
Damn it, I don't remember.
Is it Wally?
Wally.
And I think it is Wally. I
Wally.
think
Hey,
that's
Wally. My name's Wally. Nice to see you guys. What you talking about?
Let me go to, hang on a second. I got a number of calls coming in. I'm going to go to John. John, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's up, buddy?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
What's up? All right. So I got a story. I delivered pizza for 8 years, and I had delivered fried calamari, and I would wait for the customer to come out at this business, and the goose runs after me. I run away from the goose. I jump over the guardrail that is nearby. My leg locks in place inside the guardrail. My weight falls down the rest of the way with it in place, and I tore my ACL.
You tore your ACL running away from an attacking goose.
Yeah, I couldn't walk for a week.
Jesus
It's been repaired since. So.
Oh, my God.
Man, you should have thrown the calamari at it.
I tried.
Yeah, man.
I mean,
But yeah,
were you afraid of the goose hurting you, and that's why you were running?
So it had like a 3 to 4 foot wingspan and it's coming after me. I didn't want to discover what that fight was like.
Yeah.
I
They're
get
big.
it.
They're big for sure. And
Yeah.
but I mean, we're gonna win.
Yeah.
I mean, if it comes down to
if
it.
you enter the octagon against a goose, you're going to probably have dominance. But when they're pressed like when a swan's in full wingspan,
totally. Hey, listen, you don't want to get injured. I mean, it's not going to kill you, but you don't want to get injured or whatever. And you also probably don't want to hurt the animal too. But, you know.
I didn't think my leg would lock in place when I ran from the goose. I thought I'd just jump over the guardrail and be fine.
How many more do we have to lose to geese?
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Sean. Appreciate it. All right. I think I've told this story before. It was a friend of my dad's was fly fishing, and when you're doing it, the line goes way, way, way out, really long, and it goes up in the air. And he's throwing he's casting back and forth and back and forth. And he snagged a goose.
Oh, no.
That was apparently flying low. And so he's got a fishing rod with a goose on it. The goose is flying, and they're strong
Super
animals.
strong flyers.
So he's reeling it in, and he gets it down to him, and apparently, it's on. He grabs the thing by the neck. I guess he's going to try to either cut the line or whatever. and this goose's wings are beating the crap out of him.
He was getting hurt, was he not?
Yeah. He was like
people
all,
don't realize.
He was like all bruised up afterwards.
Yeah.
I think he choked the thing to death.
Did he really?
I think so.
You got a nice little Christmas goose out of there.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. This is out in, a rural area,
Right.
where
they do go goose fishing.
Something like that might be a little bit more common, but yeah.
When I was a little kid, we got like a loaf of bread and we went to Strawbridge Lake, which is in Morristown.
Yeah.
And I have to be a little pint-sized person, and I'm just tossing bread, and the ducks start like coming at me. And I remember I was wearing those jelly shoes.
Yeah.
You guys are familiar with them?
Yeah.
They're in
Yeah.
fashion now again, which means they give no coverage to your feet. And all of a sudden, the ducks start quacking and just hitting and just putting their bills into my toes.
Were you in pain?
I was like being attacked by, because all the ducks are then coming over. I think my mom had to like swoop me up and run away.
I see that happen, and there's a lot of footage again, America's Funniest Home Videos of kids being inundated with 200 ducks that are suddenly descending on the bread.
Here's some text coming in. One says, "Hey, there's a rooster at my work. For reference, I work at a horse farm and also raise livestock. But this thing is actually actively stalking me. Anytime I walk by the field that is in it, that it is in with the other chickens, he will run to the fence and follow me up and down it.
I know where you live.
Him and I have gotten into multiple fights." He will come out of nowhere and attack my legs to the point where last week I broke a broom fighting him.
Dude.
He's an a-hole.
There are conflicts like that. There's a classic Preston ongoing bit on Family Guy where he gets into a long 7-8 minute fight with a chicken.
That's right.
That they have this aggressive thing.
Yeah.
But could you imagine? So that's a quality of work sort of situation. You have to. You don't know whether you're going to have to face that rooster.
I remember we had, when I was a little kid, when I was, like pre-K, we had friends that were, had farms. And I remember it was a goat that did not
Aggressive?
like me. Yeah.
Really?
Now, it was a smaller goat, so thankfully I wasn't, those things can kill you if they wanted to, probably.
By the way, you mentioned something interesting, which is the case. Sometimes, because my friend had a goat growing up. Goat loved me. Goat hated my friend.
Yeah.
They will pick out something. There's something that's coming off someone that they just don't like, and that's it.
Yeah, this one didn't like me. It was it rammed me. It was using its horns and bang. That's what they do.
Knock it off.
It's dangerous. Let me see here. I'm going to go to Mike N, who is joining us, a paramedic. Hey, Mike, you're on the air, buddy. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Can you all hear me?
Yeah, we can. What's up, buddy?
Hey, so work as a paramedic, and one time we got a 911 call, and I guess we missed the dispatch notes to not enter in through the front door, to enter in through the basement. So me and my partner were walking up, and we opened the front door, and as we opened the front door, you just see this large black dog come running down the stairs.
Oh, my God.
Luckily, we closed the door in time, and you heard it banging up against the door. So then we found where everybody else was downstairs in the basement, and the patient was sitting there, and you could still hear the dog bark, and he was like, "Hey, did you guys try and go through the front door?" And we're like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, you're lucky to go through it. He would have tore you a new one."
Wow. Jeez. Damn.
That would have been a real bad day.
So, real quick about your profession, there are notes like that to beware of certain things if you're headed to an address?
Yeah, sometimes if it's a known issue at an address for someone who's called before,
Right.
they'll like put a flash in the house, like a dispatch note. And sometimes when people call 911, they'll say, "Hey, I've got a large aggressive dog," or other type of animals to watch out for and be cautious of. And,
Okay.
Or do this and do that. Like, here's the door code, enter in through the garage.
Yeah, you'd have to have that under consideration if you have, especially if someone's injured. And tensions are running high, and the animal's responding to the tension.
Yeah,
that would suck.
All right, thanks, Mike. Appreciate it, bud. I want to go to this call on line 4, guys. If you could put him up here, Mike M. I don't know if that's Ryan talking to him right now. Yeah, hang on. Let me go to him, Casey, because nope,
man,
we just lost him.
Son of a bitch.
He was attacked by a magpie, and I wanted to see if it matched your.
Are they aggressive?
It
magpies?
could be a magpie.
I think so. Yeah.
Magpie.
Yeah,
that's the.
Yeah, in fact, magpies. I think we've had stories about them in Australia getting really, really aggressive.
Right. Right.
Case, did you look up a mockingbird?
Yeah, I don't think if it looked like it was.
Can we grab us the sound of a magpie if you can look for it, Ryan?
And the sound of a catbird. It looked more like a catbird than a mockingbird.
Okay, all right.
But magpie
Masters of disguise.
Yeah, magpie actually sounds. No, it wasn't a magpie. Magpies are actually really beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
wow.
they're black and white, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty
like it.
birds.
Pretty bird.
Let's see. I will go next to Bill. We're talking about getting stalked and attacked by animals regularly. I'll go to Bill. Bill, you're on the air. Good morning, buddy.
Hey, Gadzooks.
Gadzooks. What's going on, my man?
So, originally from Delco, live in Florida now. I was walking my dogs around our block, developed area, not in the middle of nowhere. And all of a sudden, my dogs bark at this raccoon that's across the street going through the trash. Didn't think nothing of it. Kept walking. Kept looking back because, hey, it's a raccoon, Just staring at me. I was like, all right, keep going. Look back again. It's now barreling across the street at me and my dogs. So I have to pick the one up. The other dog runs home, and the raccoon literally starts attacking me. It's biting me on my hands.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so I've come out of metal pits with less cuts than fighting this raccoon.
So it was slicing you up. Did you immediately think rabies?
Actually, I was just thinking save my dog.
Yeah.
So I'm literally, because I'm holding out with one hand. I actually felt bad because I love animals, and I'm like, but I got to protect my dog.
Yeah.
So I pumped this twice and kept running back. I literally grabbed it by the scruff, threw it, kept coming back. I was like, I had no idea. I'm in slides and socks, you know what I mean? So, I try to, jog back to my house. I got one sock left, you know what I mean? It's all, covered in blood. So my girlfriend, because it was at night, my girlfriend was like, what happened? I was like, I got attacked by a raccoon. She's like, is the dog okay? And I was like, probably. So she dumps me at the ER and takes our dog to the emergency vet. So
Yeah. So at night, you said it was at night. Yeah, go ahead.
I would say 9 shots later, 3, they make you go back to the ER to get each one of those shots. So, but I'm good. The dog's good.
Yeah, dude.
I actually still feel bad. So
You get bitten by a raccoon or any animal like that, you've got to take the precaution of getting the series.
Yeah,
Dude, but Bill, the fact that you're fighting this thing off, you're throwing it away, you're getting away from it, and it keeps scurrying back at you, I would have been, come on, man. I mean, freaking out.
Yeah.
yeah, that's. I'm like, like I said, I love animals, so I feel bad. And I'm like, oh, but I got to protect my dog.
You did the right thing.
Dude, no,
you did the right thing.
Listen, if there's an animal legitimately attacking you, forget it. Animal lover or not.
I got it.
I'm body slamming that thing.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Or get it in a half Nelson.
Yeah. All right, Bill. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
I've never seen a healthy looking raccoon in Florida ever. Remember when you and I played golf?
Yes.
And listen, it was a raccoon during the day, so you normally got to run away.
Right.
That guy, that was a raccoon at night, but they all look all messed out,
Sneezing
man.
and wheezing and drunk.
Yeah, it was, he looked a little mangy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. What is this audio?
We have a magpie, we have a mockingbird, and I think he's working on a catbird.
We have a mockingbird.
All right, this is a magpie. All right, it didn't sound like that, though. What was the sound that this bird made? Meh. Okay.
All right. This is a mockingbird.
Mockingbird. Okay.
Pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, it's pretty.
And I think, is it named a mockingbird because it will imitate other bird calls?
That's
bird
my
songs?
understanding. Yeah.
Okay.
And then we do not have a catbird yet. It's on the way.
Okay.
So it was neither of those two. You know what I'm talking about.
Although you mentioned the thing, though, it's quite common. For some reason, they're drawn to areas that I guess by just the structure of a house or whatever, that'll be at the entrance point. Wasn't there a goose or a duck that had given birth in the hedges right out in front of the...
Right here, yeah.
I thought it was a goose.
It was a goose. And did it get territorial? It did,
Well,
didn't
yeah.
it?
So what's wild, and so the Pachysandra planters aren't really there anymore, but the mommy would lay an egg or a couple of eggs in the Pachysandra, and the dad would run patrol. And so there were always two. There was two of them. Yeah, and the dad would run patrol, and it was kind of cool. So it laid eggs out front here.
Okay.
And
At the entrance.
Yeah,
Both entrances.
Yeah, one other year that it was out on the side over there by the loading docks where I like to take a dump.
Yeah.
If you guys remember.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Well, hey, remember Poopgate that happened at my friend's shore house a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
I told you guys we found a turd in the sink out of nowhere.
Yeah.
We had a realization over the weekend that we think it may be goose poop that somebody tracked back from a golf course.
Oh.
And ended up in the sink,
And like
though?
maybe somebody was like cleaning off their shoes or something.
You know how you clean your goose poop off your sink?
Yeah, in the sink.
Goose poop.
It kind of looks like dog turds.
Yeah. It usually has a little white in it.
It's like
got
a little bitterness in
Yeah,
its
yeah.
taste.
It's
No,
I find a little bit of nutmeg.
It's cylindrical. It looks like a turd
Yeah.
as opposed to like pellets.
But there have been, again, I keep referencing the size in Howard Park on Long Island, but it was literally unusable at certain points because the ground was so covered in crap.
All right, here's a catbird call, Casey. That's it.
That's it.
So that's wild. That must be because I have a gray catbird that lives in my backyard, and it's got a really pretty song. I've never heard him do the pissed
Pretty
off.
bird?
Yeah,
Pretty bird.
Well, that might just be the pissed off, back off, bro.
Yeah, totally.
Maybe they just traditionally like the actual host of the show as opposed to the producer.
So, Casey, that thing would dive bomb at you?
It would dive bomb you. It was actually right by your house.
Okay.
He kind of had to stop going out the front door.
But it's just a little guy.
Yeah,
He is a little guy.
They don't
Oh.
care, man.
Yeah.
The catbird. Back when I was a kid, we had a cat named Sneakers, and the catbird took out Sneakers' eye.
This has happened. This has happened with blue jays. Blue jays will do that. They'll attack birds. They'll attack cats.
What is the bird that you will see if you see a predator bird like a red-tailed hawk flying around? What's the little one that flies around them and just get out of here, just bouncing around? You know what I'm talking? You ever seen that happen?
You're the best, boss. You're the best.
Like they're like a fifth of the size of that bird, and they're just totally harassing.
Do they
them.
fly? So they fly in tandem and with like a suckerfish on a shark, something like that.
Well, they dive at them. They're smaller and they're more agile, and so the hawk is kind of cruising along, and they're being territorial. They're saying, "Get out of my area." Essentially. I see that regularly.
Which is pretty wild because a lot of times crows will bother hawks, right? I don't know. Sometimes you'll see a hawk and
Crows
then you
go
see
after hawks?
You'll see a bunch of crows or maybe ravens. I don't really know, but
In this area, I have to assume if you're talking about the alpha, the dominant predatory bird. So we do have bald eagles in the area. I assume,
lots.
right? So so I assume they'd be at the top of the chain, correct?
They're pretty high up.
They're pretty birds.
They're pretty birds.
It's interesting, though, and this whole discussion, because we're talking about this park in Abington Township, Averthorpe Park, where you would actually, if you had family members in from out of town or friends or something like that, you'd have to be like, don't go over there because... that's the geese territory. When my mom and sister lived in this one apartment building, there was an alligator in this pond that was right next to it. And it was like, hey, keep in mind, there's an alligator over there.
That's crazy.
And so, I imagine there are various warnings that some people have, like the guy with the rooster. Hey, don't walk next door. There's a crazy rooster over there. And that you have to sometimes be aware of these territorial animals.
Like this groundhog.
And you have to give these little warnings and say, watch out.
Watch your step.
Keep in mind, that's raccoon territory over there.
That's Ricky's
I want to
area.
I want to go to Jay, who's a police officer, and he's got an interesting story. Jay, you are on the air, brother. Good morning.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Great, man. What's going on?
So I'm a police officer in New Jersey. I don't want to say the department or anything like that. But one of our train stations in New Jersey would every year this goose would come back, or the geese, and like Casey was saying, how the father would always go on patrol and stuff like that, and the mother would stand there. Well, we had to close off a section of parking lot because the goose would attack people. So we shut that off. So one night I'm working, and we used to watch it on video and laugh at these people, like, how could these scared or a goose? Like, this little thing, how you guys were saying, it's like, we would win in a fight. But when it's coming at you, like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
So one night I'm on midnight. I'm in full police uniform and all that. I'm like, let me see what this thing's doing. So I get out there, and I'm looking at this thing. I only see the mother. All of a sudden, the father comes out of nowhere. He dives down like a Game of Thrones dragon at me, and He's flailing. I run so fast. I'm running around, and I'm in full uniform. Like I got my baton on me. And I'm flying around, and it is hysterical. I went back and watched the video. I'm like, so I'm just basically just like one of those people. So,
Yes,
oh my God!
because it is startling.
Jay, I have a question.
Yes.
Is there any policy, or has it ever even been tested to tase an aggressive animal?
So I'm sure maybe if it was attacking someone else and I had to protect that person's life, I could probably go to that level. But yeah, we were always like two goose and one egg would shut down that whole parking lot because they're protected, you know?
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
And it's just crazy. And these things are invasive, and it's just, you know, they're just overrunning everything.
But that raises an interesting question. A taser designed for a human, would it instantly kill a bird?
Or even worse?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Try it out this week.
Try it out. Yeah. And if not, just you got a meal.
Yeah.
Well, I'll get back to you guys. All
right, thanks, Jay. Appreciate it, man.
Take care, guys.
We're going bird tasing.
Wow. Bird tasing.
Yeah, we're going to go goose fishing and then bird tasing.
I wonder if that would ever, that could change the whole hunting industry.
Sure.
For the hunter that doesn't necessarily want to kill, but still likes the thrill of the chase.
Right.
You just tase
To show
them.
dominance.
Yeah. You just knock him out of the sky.
Stun gun that raccoon.
Yep, got him. So back to the Abington story. Apparently, this is not the first time. They've had a growing goose problem there. In 2023, their Shade Tree Commission explored using landscaping to discourage geese, asking developers across Alverthorpe Park to add more shrubs and trees. But engineers said that residents were set on keeping a sprawling grassy lawn, which actually is an ideal habitat for the birds. So that's, you're going to get it. And then in 2023, a plan suggested, this sounds interesting, that closing some outdoor ice rinks turned into soggy lawns when not frozen could help shrink the geese's habitat.
That I don't understand.
No.
My suggestion, I saw this documentary about the Old West where this townspeople foiled attackers by building an exact replica of the town.
Okay. All right.
And then they set off the explosives.
Right.
Once again, the explosives. And in 2010, USDA Wildlife Services received more than 400 requests for help dealing with goose damage in Pennsylvania. So
they call it GD.
It can be a problem. So interesting. All right. Well, thank you for sharing your stories. We didn't get to touch on all of them. A bunch of texts came in as well with some. And I'm sorry, Marissa, to follow up, you had pulled up information about the birds that I had talked about with the red-tailed hawks.
Yes.
Apparently, it just says smaller birds such as crows, blue jays, mockingbirds, and blackbirds often dive bomb red-tailed hawks. The behavior is called mobbing.
Mobbing.
Yes, these birds gang up to protect their nests or chase the hawk away from their home territory. So
Pretty
this
wild.
is pretty common.
Just saying.
All right, so anyhow, keep in mind that they're going to start using lasers and pyrotechnics to fix this goose problem at Alverthorpe Park in Abington Township. So
it's pretty wild.
But thank you for your
no pun
calls.
intended.
We appreciate it. We're going to take a break, come back in a second. I have some bizarre file stories that I have put together over the weekend. I think you'll enjoy them. We'll have them for you next. Stay there. You read my mind immediately. But what it ended up being is a really charming place. It had a kind of a, I don't know, it had a vibe to it that was just like Jim said, us against the world.
That was it, clearly.
And kind of ragtag and let's make this thing whatever we want it to be.
And there were a number of ways to break at that time. You could be inauthentic about it, or you could be the real deal. And Jim McGuinn and DRE at that time was the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
And it came across. That's why it still is spoken of in reverent terms these days, because it was that. But I mean, to talk about what happened with Preston, and you, Jim, and I got the opportunity to tell you at the Camp Out for Hunger a couple of years ago, I owe the same debt of gratitude to you. It was you pairing us together, and you sort of seeing this and allowing the opportunity, and then that set everything in motion.
The work you guys have done over the decades here is just amazing. So congratulations on, 30 years, almost 30 years for you guys. 28 or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
So Unbelievable.
But for those who don't know,
or dumb luck. Or maybe it's just dumb luck. I don't know.
let's go with dumb luck.
Yeah. When you're accepting the award, you say, I saw it all. And then when you're with your friends, you go, it was just dumb luck.
Yeah.
But for those who don't know, Jim not only programmed WDRE, but then when that station went under and it was a whole corporate thing that ended up happening because of that, some of us segued over to Y100, and Jim was the program director there for the remainder of the radio station. So we worked together for a long time, and he assembled the Preston and Steve show. The Casey, Kathy, Nick, Marissa, Preston, Steve, the whole crew came together because of Jim.
I remember calling down for a gig I was going after in New York, Jim, and I was just asking you your if you had some behind the scenes intelligence you could relate to me. And Preston's on the show down here, and I'd done the Riverdeck Cafe, the remote broadcast at DRE. Yeah. I said, hey, would you let's see about that? And I remember, and I mean, I knew that's because it was just that vibe. I mean, I don't know if you can appreciate it, and you probably can. You've had people who have obviously been mentors in your life or that have done this. But I mean, we were talking about the sheer bizarre domino nature of things, the way they need to fall to basically tectonically change Preston's life, to change my life. Yeah, and you were unaware that you were holding that key.
I had no idea. Well, none of us had any idea this would turn out the way it did, right? But I do remember, and I found this a couple years ago when I moved back to Philadelphia from Minnesota. And Preston, are you okay if I share just a little smidge of the thing? We reached out, and I found the offer letter that I sent you.
Yeah.
To come to afternoons.
Yeah.
I was like, it was like, Dear Kenny Knight. And said, we'd like you to come to afternoons at DRE. And I'm pretty sure the number was $45,000 a year. Like, we can pay you a whopping total of $45,000 a year if you would move all the way across the country. And I think we gave you like $1,000 moving expenses. And that was it.
Yeah, to pull up stakes, to shift your life.
Ask your girlfriend to move to Philly on that and come to Jenkintown, work in this facility, and good luck. And but we're going to play a lot of Oasis records, so that's going to be a lot more fun.
I have the letter. It's framed. I have it at home.
Oh,
so,
all right.
Yeah,
Awesome.
that's up on the wall.
It was like all the big bucks for you, Preston. and then, Steve, I mean, you think about this. Like, you used to drive down from New York to do that remote gig in Manayunk, and you were just really funny together. And it was like, wow, that guy Steve, he's pretty funny. We should do something with him someday. And when we first got the show together, you were still commuting back and forth. You had not committed.
I had not committed
for a while.
No, and we had just, Claire and I were just gotten married, and she had gotten a gig up there, and I'd tell Preston. I remember pulling into Manayunk down to do that thing at the Riverdeck Cafe. It was a live party broadcast, quote unquote, with a happy hour. Nobody's in the club at that time. And Preston was back at DRE, and I go down and do the stuff. I'd never done stuff like that before. But I remember pulling into Manayunk the first time I'd ever seen it, and I'm like, who the hell would live here? Only for me to live there for years. I fell in love with Manayunk. So that's the nature of life,
Yeah.
Preston, what's the story about changing your name? Because if the letter was to Kenny Knight, Kenny Knight's not too much of an alt name, but whose decision was it to go by Preston Elliott?
No, I wanted to go back. I wanted to use my real name, my real first name, and I changed my last name. And actually, Sarah Clark, who did mornings on DRE, kind of helped me out with that. I threw a few names at her, and she's like, I like that one. So Elliot is what I ended up going with.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that time you had all the rage in the alt community was Monkey Boy and Altar Boy and all of
Casey
these
Boy.
pseudonyms.
Casey Boy.
Yeah.
Jim was Rumor Boy.
Rumor Boy.
Yes.
Oh my
God. What's the story behind that?
Well,
I don't even remember. Why? I mean, it just makes no sense.
You would give us inside music information that you would hear from record people about, rumblings.
There's a rumor.
There's a rumbling that Sponge is going to be, they're going to be writing a new album next year, something, whatever it is. But it would be Rumor Boy, and we would bring him on. Yeah.
So, Preston, how long was your tenure at DRE? I know that ultimately the radio station went away, and then I want to ask about the transition from that, Jim, to Y100. Like,
Yeah.
DRE was a shade over a year.
Okay, wow.
That was it. But I mean, man, when I tell you that the memories are vivid and significant to me.
Seems longer than that.
It was so much fun, and I can't believe we crammed all that into a year.
That's a mind blower because I felt like we were doing that river deck thing for longer, but it couldn't have been more than 7, 8 months.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
Jesus,
it was that one summer, right? Because it wouldn't have been through the winter, I don't think.
Yeah,
we had no budget. We had a terrible signal. We had no budget. We were this very, left of center musical outlet that had a lot of, young adults that liked, but it was kind of hopeless unless we made stuff happen. But we did weird stuff. I mean, we had a football game with listeners. We played soccer against the Cure. We had the whole tripping with
Vinny, tripping Thursdays. The King.
We did all this insane stuff.
The King of DRE Fest. Do you remember that?
Yeah, we had some guy who got to intro a band,
and we carried him around on our shoulders and stuff. And we did.
And we lived it. We lived that culture. That's the thing is we were there all the time.
That's why it rang true.
We had a number of great guests stop by. I'll just rattle off a few of them, but I remember I had Fred Schneider in the studio. I had the Talking Heads in the studio. I had Brian Setzer stop by. One of the first artist interactions I did with a female singer named Poe. She was there that first week. School of Fish. Man, it went on and on. We had so many people stop by.
You were one of was one of the great things. You talk about LIR, Jim, in New York, and KROQ and these or PIX even in New York. These stations, they were the only outlet for a lot of these bands. So there was, they had to schmooze or drop by. They had to do anything to get into the good graces of these stations, and that provided accessibility.
Hey, so when DRE went away, was Y100 already lined up, or?
So DRE sold, and I remember I met with the owner, and I said, and this is the time when after the consolidation, Telecommunications Act of '96, all these radio stations were being bought and sold and gobbled up by corporate entities, and I met with the owner, and I said, I don't know if we can get the ratings to get the money in that you want to make. This signal actually doesn't cover the suburbs very well. It covers the city and the close Jersey area and stuff like that. And I think a light bulb went off, and a month later he sold it to Radio 1, which flipped the station to an urban station. So where the signal is much more competitive. Yeah. So it made sense, and he made a ton of money. He quadrupled his money in 4 years of owning DRE down here. So, but we were competing against Y100, and I would say we were kicking them in their shins pretty hard. And they had just lost their program director, Garrett Michaels. And so they called me and said, would you come over when DRE goes away? And I said, yeah, but I got to bring some of my people. And we brought a lot of people, including Brett, including Preston, and a bunch of folks made that jump with us to Y100. And that's how that started, actually.
Yeah, Marilyn was on board for that too.
And Dan
and then
Fine. I think it was and these are people. There's such a weird when you've been through a weird battle kind of camaraderie that we're all still friends today. 30 years later, we all still, whenever we can, we hang out. Whenever we can, we try to get together and reminisce, but also share that we had this really great thing that we built.
Wonderful thing.
It was just a blip, or at least DRE was a blip in our careers. And you and me and Brett and a few others get on a text chain and reminisce about it from time to time. I also have to point out how cordial Jim was, because when I first moved here, I lived with Jim and his wife.
Oh boy.
For a couple of weeks, maybe even a month, I don't know, but we lived in that apartment in the Corman Suites. You remember that?
Oh my God. Yes, vaguely.
Which is terrible because I was a smoker and they weren't.
Oh man.
And it was the dead of winter and I'd go out in the hallway and smoke.
Oh my God.
That sting on winter smoke.
And the rest is history. And it is a 30-year-old history, which is, I love this. I love this ability to be able to do this because, as we said earlier, Jim, if anything has taught us in the past couple of months that the ephemeral nature, obviously, of life reminds us.
Yeah.
And so it does not hurt to take these pauses now and then if you're in a good place and you've had a bit of a run and you're still surrounded by people who are, critical and contributed to your quality of life. Both of us.
Yeah.
But Preston hitting the 30-year mark is definitely worth taking a look back.
Yeah, and Jim, I want to jump in here and point out the fact that your decision to move to Philadelphia and then ultimately call Preston to move to Philadelphia has resulted in millions and millions and millions of pounds of food for Philabundance.
Yeah.
Millions of dollars for Philabundance. Preston's entire family. Jim, my entire family, like none of any of that stuff
would have happened
if it wasn't for you. This butterfly effect.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, the work you guys have done, and we started that at Y100, the camp out, and it's just the way it's grown and how it's become like such an important part of the fabric of the city. It's just something you guys should all be proud of. And I this is like when we were talking about the morning show and Preston moving from afternoons to mornings. So we were at Y100, but I will never forget, Preston, I was sitting in my desk in my office. You were in the doorway and we were talking and you said, I would really like to try morning. So I was like, are you going to really get up in the morning? Are you, knew you at that point, the way you were.
Yeah.
And you said to me, I want to have an impact on a city the way a guy like Pierre at MMR has had an impact on a city. Yeah. And this is years before you would work at MMR. This is before you'd even started the mornings. And that was sort of the gold standard that we would look at as far as somebody who had come into a town and really become part of the fabric of that town. And, you've done it.
Well,
I mean, maybe not the first 29 years, but now you've done it.
Yeah. I listened to the Pierre's. They'll mention a little bit later on. Actually, hang on. I think I might
You can do it?
have shout out.
All right. By the way, you have not sneezed since the beginning of the show.
I know.
And you had a massive sneeze that was just sitting there, never came out.
It almost hurt.
Yeah.
Like I was holding it in. And it was like,
could you feel it in your plums?
No, I didn't feel it in my plums. No, it was like stinging in my nose, and I feel so completely unsatisfied.
I know,
because
sucks.
I have not sneezed at all. No, there's a plug I wanted to mention. Yeah, so there's an event coming up on Friday, and I got this from Christina Petrilla, who is with 2SP Brewing, who we love.
I just spent Thursday evening with her. She attended the Kitten Cuddle and provided beer and donation. She is awesome.
She's the tasting room and events manager and wanted to let us know about, she had heard us mention, she writes in this email, says, I heard you mention that the blood banks need a few times on recent shows. I think she missed.
Their need a few. You've mentioned the need a few times on the show.
Oh, thank you very much. All right, so after our blood drive, so I thought that I'd share some upcoming events with the Blood Bank of Delmarva, the 2SP group, along with a lot of other small business breweries and coffee houses, host the Blood Bank of Delmarva's annual Blood for a Brew mobile drive. So this is she writes, tricked out, cozy, and convenient as hell, literal bus that bops around making donations even easier. So they have upcoming drives at 2SP Group locations. This Friday at the Hockessin, Delaware restaurant, there will be one. Then Saturday, the 8th of August, will be at the Aston location in Delco. And then on August 14th, it will be at the Wilmington restaurant. So you can swing by there.
Makes it easier.
And you can make a donation. You just grab some dinner or whatever it is. Probably wouldn't drink for a few hours after you donate. But nonetheless, Christina wanted us to get that information out to you, so I wanted to pass that along. But this Friday at the Hockessin, Delaware restaurant, they will be doing it. And then the 8th in Aston and the 14th in Wilmington.
By the way, Christina and a lot of the 2SP people, big listeners of the Preston Steve Show, we thank you so much for that.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so wanted to hit that, and I think that was it for now. So we can get to the beat file. Let us fire that baby up right now.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you this morning by Newman University. First responders ready to lead. Earn your online bachelor's in public safety administration at Newman University. Built for those who serve. Learn more at newman.edu/your degree. All right. let's jump right into things here, folks. A jealous wife attacked her husband by biting off his penis.
Whoa!
After deliberately sharpening her teeth.
What?
In what medical experts call a guaranteed premeditated act of violent revenge.
Oh, we have a winner. Lorena Bobbitt used a steak knife. She used her teeth.
The disturbing incident allegedly occurred in Moscow, Russia, after the 39-year-old woman discovered a message on her 41-year-old husband's phone from another woman. The message detailed an erotic dream about having sex with him on a beach. Rather than confronting him directly, the wife reportedly carefully orchestrated her assault.
Time to bite his penis off.
Medical expert Dr. Arthur Valavachev, who analyzed the case, revealed that she had filed down her teeth to make them sharper.
That's commitment.
He explained how she orchestrated the trap by preparing dinner for her husband before the couple drank alcohol together. He said his wife cooked dinner, they sat down, they ate, drank some more, and then went to bed, where she started giving him oral. He continued saying, and at that moment she bit off his penis with her teeth.
With surgical precision.
He said she then spat it out and told him, "It's your own fault. Now you can't do it with anyone else."
Yeah, that's a good point.
The husband momentarily lost consciousness from pain and hypervolemic shock. When he regained consciousness, he was bleeding profusely.
Best BJ of my life.
Valvachev said that the man successfully preserved the severed organ in a glass with saline solution before calling emergency services. Medical personnel attempted reattachment, but Valvachev said that they were unsuccessful in restoring any function. He said that he hasn't been able to find a new partner yet, noting that the sole remaining option is a penile prosthesis, an internal penile prosthesis with a pump. The husband has consistently maintained his innocence regarding any infidelity. Due to Russian privacy regulations, couples' identities have been withheld, given the sensitive medical information and ongoing criminal proceedings.
So you have to realize while she's doing this, there has to be a flood of blood.
Yeah.
You know how that area bleeds.
Absolutely.
That's commitment, man. Psychotic commitment, but commitment.
A former Alabama prosecutor stands accused of repeatedly poisoning her husband with fentanyl and even allegedly attempted to drug him while she was out on bail for attempted murder.
At least she didn't bite his penis off.
But listen, it gets even more intense. Sarah Baker, 75 years old, who is also the sole caregiver to her husband since he had a stroke, allegedly spiked James Doyle's Baker's food and drink on at least 3 occasions in September 2025.
Wow.
Baker was indicted on attempted murder, conspiracy to commit murder, domestic violence, elder abuse, soliciting, and distributing a controlled substance. She had posted $400,000 bond after pleading not guilty. The suspect is also accused of violating the terms of her bond by continuing to visit her husband and possibly attempt to poison him again. However, Baker's husband has stood by his wife in court, saying during proceedings, "I have no idea why we're here today. We kept that clean all the way." I don't know what the hell that means.
No, maybe that's their little thing that they have. You know, a couple shares their own words and stuff. This is more romantic than The Notebook.
Yeah.
He also admits that he had pleaded with both Baker's attorney and the county district attorney to let him see his wife. Last year in November, Baker was arrested for allegedly asking multiple people to get her fentanyl in order to poison and kill her husband. Her arrest led to her being suspended from the Alabama Bar Association. She's a lawyer.
A lawyer?
Baker is alleged to have contacted one of her husband's caregivers on June 11th, asking for them to get her an empty medicine bottle from James's residence.
Have they sought couples therapy?
Prosecutors then alleged she returned to the caregiver with a black bag 8 days later, and they believe that this contained the medicine bottle with instructions to place it in a safe inside her husband's home. After the caregiver put the bottle and the bag in the safe, they soon contacted law enforcement and reported it. Police said that they later found 12 grams of purple-colored powder inside of the safe after obtaining a search warrant. The powder tested positive for fentanyl. Judge Gregory Williams said that Baker had sought to get a weight of fentanyl that you don't see very often into the home. Sarah Baker has pleaded not guilty on all charges and cites mental disease or defect. Williams has since ordered that she get psychologically tested, but the husband is standing by her. She has tried to kill him as many as 3 times.
Is that a love for the ages
It's
or
love.
Stupidity beyond all recognition?
It's a deep love that we can't even comprehend, Steve.
I love her, man.
Wow. All right, we'll do another one. What started as a disagreement over who would go first through a South Gulf Cove lock, meaning, through a waterway,
right,
has turned into multiple investigations after a lock operator said that he was assaulted and a boat crashed into the lock. John Minatello, the South Gulf Cove lock operator, says the incident happened Sunday while he was working. According to Minatello, a boater became upset after he was told to wait while a sailboat passed through the lock first. He said he came up to the ladder here and pushed me once. Before I had time to even think about it, he pushed me again.
Son of a bitch.
Minatello says that he then activated the recording feature on his meta glasses, capturing video of the confrontation. He says moments later, the boater returned to his vessel and accelerated into the lock. After that, he said he accelerated the boat into the gates and his wife went off into the water. The Florida Wildlife Commission cited the vessel operator for violating navigational rule. The boating accident remains under investigation.
Someone's getting their penis bit off.
Minatello says that larger vessels are sometimes allowed through the lock by themselves to safely navigate the changing water levels inside. And he said that was the case on Sunday. He said for safety reasons, the sailboat had precedence. There's no reason for anybody to cut the line.
So when we did the tour of the Danube on a riverboat, you would go. There are a tremendous amount of locks. I think maybe the most in anywhere in the world on the Danube. And yeah, the smaller craft would come in alongside the ship, and there was enough room. They would let them go through.
All right.
Minatello says that he initially chose not to pursue charges because he was not injured. However, he says the following day, the same boater returned to the lock in a vehicle. Minatello said the man took photographs of him and his vehicle and repeatedly told him, "You'll be getting a visit."
Yeah.
He says that encounter prompted him to file a report with the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office. So there is a little legal thing going on,
Didn't
too.
realize all this stuff goes on at your local neighborhood lock.
How about that? And that is what I have in the bizarre file for you this morning. Somebody texted and said I mispronounced a name.
Yeah, you were saying Hockessin. It's Hockessin.
Hang on a second.
What? Who?
Who? What?
Roll that tape back. Do we have the court stenographer?
No. I'm sure. I just want to see how it was written.
Yeah, yeah.
What was I saying? Well, I was saying Hockessin?
You were saying Hockessin.
Oh, and what is it? It's Hockessin?
Hockessin.
Well, don't spell it like hock, you bastards.
Yeah,
Come on,
like all those
pricks.
Kessins are hoes. You know
Yeah.
what I'm
The
saying?
C is silent.
What?
Well,
The C is
I don't
silent.
know. Or there's like an E missing.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
I get it.
So Hockessin.
Hockessin.
All right, very good. That's second town I've mispronounced today.
I'm
right.
embarrassed.
Sorry, I'm
For
new
you?
to your area.
Just move here. It's all
I'm just
right.
trying to get it over
I
there.
recently had penis bitten off.
You understand. All right, let's take a break and come back in a moment. Don't forget, later on this morning, we have KC Navarro, who's going to be joining us from the TNA Wrestling. They've got an event coming up next week, couple of days, Leah Core Center. Get him in here in the 9 o'clock hour. Stay put. We'll be back in a moment. Presence in this town just loomed so large. And, I
Nothing's
would
gonna
never
touch that.
compare myself to his level, but I do remember being, I want to be the outsider that came in and found a home and found an audience.
As
and-
Pierre did.
Yeah,
coming
exactly.
from San
As Pierre
Francisco.
did. Yeah, totally.
Again,
Very similar.
showing you the miraculous mix of people that is this great city, the people, surrounding areas, all of it is meant. I mean, coming down from New York for me, this is my home. I'm and as you
Totally.
say, give another 30 years, which I'm sure I'll make.
You'll be accepted.
Yeah.
They'll let you park in South Philly on Broad Street. And I also remember, Steve, this one meeting I had as we were forming the show together, and we had a kind of a outside help, like a consultant was coming in to help us, and I was kind of, I don't know if I ever told you guys this, I was commiserating him. I'm like, I don't know if this is going to work because Preston's not really the kind of guy that reads a newspaper. Like, he's a great guy. He's a great guy at the end of the bar you want to hang out with.
Yeah.
Steve's got the news. He's got the news. Preston, I'm not so sure. And the guy said to me, he goes, "That's okay. You don't have to change him. He doesn't have to read the newspaper. He can be the guy that doesn't read the newspaper, and then Steve can tell him what's going on." And that was...
You know what?
That was it.
You know what is so funny? I still use something similar to that, Jim, as a justification today. Like, if there's something I'm not into that the rest of the world is like way into, I'll be like, well, I'll just be the guy that represents the rest of the people that don't get into it.
Right. And that was for me a lesson on how to build a morning show. It's like, oh, right, you can't have 5 people that are all like the same. You got to have a whole bunch of weirdos that come together.
No.
And together, if they're curious about the world, it's going to work.
Yeah.
And and it worked.
Well, you've had an uncanny sixth sense about that, and your ability to be good natured and have a paternal-esque care for the people that were under your control, so to speak. It's meant the world. I mean, it allowed you allowed us to grow in the way that mattered. You were always in there swinging for us. When you made a call that didn't work, you would tell us and say, what can we do? And I mean, I don't possess that skill. To do what you do at the level you do it and have done it, I'd be an abysmal failure because it's something that I think is in your DNA, and it's an amazing thing.
I want to piggyback on that because Jim, and I've worked for several program directors, but Jim, you have a way of encouraging and inspiring people that I've never quite experienced with anybody else, and that's one of the coolest things about you. And I know we didn't always see eye to eye on stuff. Jim and I we'd butt heads from time to time. Jim would always tell me, by the way, he could tell when I was mad at him because I would use his name. I'd be like, "No, Jim, I don't think so." And he's like, "I know when you're mad at me."
The thing that look, we were, I was 28 or something when I came to DRE. Like, I can't believe they gave me the keys to the radio station at that age.
Yeah.
Like now, it seems like I was a baby. We were all babies at that time and learning how to work together. And the other thing I learned from you guys were really hardworking, and you had this like office bullpen, and you would meet every day and powwow with the show. And this was the first real morning show that I'd also been a part of helping, foster. And I quickly learned that any idea of mine, if you guys weren't into it right away, I had to just give it up. And because I would try to be like, no, you should really do this. And you'd be like, and then you'd do it and it would be terrible. And I was like, all right, lesson learned. They will do what they want to do no matter what I tell them. So
but it takes,
I got to reshape this. Yeah.
It takes a certain person to do that who doesn't in a huff go, God damn it, I'm going to ram it down your throat. You wanted the best product, you wanted the best for the listeners, you wanted, and that's why it worked. So
I also like the attitude that we had. Jim, I want to ask, whose idea was it to take out that full page ad in the city paper?
There were
I remember
different controversial ones. The one with the F-bomb in it, or the one about MMR?
No, the F-bomb one in particular.
Oh yeah. I think that was me. Same thing. Y100 didn't have a big budget, and I think we tweaked the format to include more like active rock, like we were playing Metallica and heavier bands that we hadn't played earlier.
Yeah.
And so what the ad was like, we effing rock or something.
No, it was F-U, we rock.
Oh, yeah.
Only F was not abbreviated. It was fully spelled out.
Yeah.
I know what it was. We were just getting brushed aside publicly for whatever reason. There was an air of that they're just those guys over there doing this thing, and we were like, dude, we're rocking over here, okay?
Yeah.
And it was F-U, we rock, and we got some crap for that.
It's a city paper, though.
And God bless Lynn Bruder, our general manager, who had to walk that into the owner, Dan Lerner, who was not pleased with that ad and walk that thing through. But he was great. I mean, he's the guy that gave us like 6 Volkswagen Beetles to give away and all this stuff. But I do remember an ad we had. I'm going to share this, and it's going to be hopefully funny, at DRE, where MMR had changed their slogan to say, "We've grown up, you've grown up."
That's right.
That was the slogan they were using. And we were at DRE, and we were the young punks. And we were like, that's so stupid. That's a terrible slogan. And the next week we ran in the city pages or city paper an ad that had it was all gray city background with a pink toilet in the middle. And it said, "You've thrown up, we've thrown up."
I love that one.
And then look at you now.
Here at MMR.
But not using that slogan anymore. Which is good.
He's rocking him behind him. If you're watching on YouTube, or his fiber pills on the.
I got him back there. I'm gonna be 58 in a couple of weeks, so
it's all good.
Got to keep things moving.
To be able to be here saying that and looking back at a milestone moment is a gift from God. So
Well, Jim, thank you for giving me a shot, brother. You changed my life. It was 30 years ago that I rolled into town with my stuff and I've been here ever since and can't thank you enough. So I really appreciate it, man. I will
The whole
always
city
love you
thanks-
for that.
Thanks to you guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Jim,
and,
go ahead.
and by the way, Jim, program director, are you a program director? What's your title at XPN?
I am the acting program director at WXPN. So we've had a longtime program director, Bruce Warren, who's amazing. Who's he's entering what's called phased retirement. He's just a few years older than us. And so I'm the acting program director right now.
All right.
At XPN.
Well, make sure you act properly, sir.
Some would say I've always been acting.
Yeah,
I've been program
exactly.
director, so there you go.
All right, Jim. Thanks for checking in, bud. I'll see you soon, okay?
Yeah, thanks, guys.
All right, take care. Jim McGuinn, guy that created this.
I feel good to do that on a milestone day, right?
Yeah.
To touch base with Jim?
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah. Jim was a guy that I just admired big time before I ever really got to know him. You know, I watched him work across the street, as they say in the business, and I was like, God, I want to work for that guy. I want to work for that guy. I want to work for that guy. And eventually came together.
I had a special moment. Thank you guys for doing that Y100 reunion a few years ago at Camp Out for Hunger. As a fan, somebody who grew up loving Philadelphia radio, like that was extra special for me. And I was just standing next to Jim as he was just looking out in the crowd, and he was just wowed at what the Preston and Steve show has become. And he was a part of that history, but where you guys have taken it from, you know, the start is just wonderful.
Well, you know, Marissa, we talk about when, with Pierre passing and people saying, "Oh, sorry for your," it was all of our lists. It's all the collective, the camp out, all of this, anything, the achievement that has happened vis-a-vis this show has happened because it was everyone involved. If you've ever been out and supported anything or listened to the show at all, or there was any sort of joy or we communed on some level, you're a part of it as well. So, you know, it's. I mean, you know, the joy that I feel about thinking about the time here and what all this area has meant to us is just, you can't even measure it.
We always try to have a little piece of music maybe to bring one of our guests on with, and I thought this was apropos. Couldn't stand the weather. Stevie Ray Vaughan. And we do have some weather coming in this weekend. Sunday, I'm going to talk this up a little bit because I love the beginning of this song. And it might be a little intense. We will have to find out for sure. So we wanted to call in a voice of authority, and we happen to have sitting in our studio that voice right here. Please welcome Mr. Nor'easter Nick.
All right. Good morning. Good
To our
morning.
program. How you doing, Nick?
I'm well. Thank you so much for inviting me in. This is an absolute honor. I've listened to you guys for a long time and very familiar with your show, and you have so much fun.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And Casey's wife is a huge fan of yours.
I've heard. So shout out to her who goes to the beach and has weather anxiety. I had weather anxiety as a kid growing up, and that's why I wanted to get involved in all of this.
I read about that,
yeah.
that you had a fairly pronounced fear of thunderstorms.
Yes.
And it's almost like the movie Twister, where you were not robbed of a parent by a storm, but it still scared the hell out of you.
I was so afraid of thunderstorms. My grandmother raised me. I would hide under my bed up until 2 weeks ago because I didn't understand why things happened the way they did, right?
Right.
But I would beg her to take me to the police department or the mall somewhere without windows where I couldn't see outside if there were thunderstorms. And then she would buy me weather books, and I just taught myself meteorology at like 6 years old, and I started doing weather for my elementary school in Brigantine at 6.
So when you do that, when you start to realize the awesome what's going on,
It's
the
incredible.
majesty and the power, you got an appreciation for it. But to develop it that early at 6 and then do a complete 180.
So most people that are in this field knew what they wanted to do at a young age. And there's a difference between weather weenies, which I am, and the ones that are, I just want to do it for the paycheck. You know, it pays well. I want to be on TV.
Right.
Well, I'm more into it for the science. Like, I am a true geek when it comes to this stuff. It's incredible.
Yeah. So, I mean, listen, and it's great that there's a little bit or maybe a lot of bit of predictability when it comes to the weather. Sure. And so, you know, my wife sits there with like a bunch of different weather apps, and she's connected to Nor'easter Nick as she's sitting on the beach, because you see, you have this giant vista of clouds, and you can potentially see what is coming.
Absolutely.
And then maybe other times you don't know what is coming. And so that, I think, is what gives her the fear, is like, okay, well, what's behind all those houses? I can see clouds, but I can't see beyond the houses and stuff like that.
That's
And
heavy duty.
And that's where Nor'easter Nick comes in.
On 93.3 WMMR.
Thank you so much, Marissa. Well, it's been a few weeks, and a lot has happened. So it's time to go to school, my friend. We are headed to the Just Sayin Institute.
The Just Sayin Institute, home of the Preston Elliott Sneeze Suppression Center.
I need to start that.
Yeah.
It's not good for you. By the way, we have a graphic that has just been pulled up here in our studio on our screens. It says, emergency alert, Preston sneeze watch. Will he sneeze? We may never know.
It's true. You have not so far, though it's been toying with you.
Yeah. All right. Well, we have stories about medical breakthroughs and research and all kinds of inventions and things. I'm going to start with this one. A large review published in Frontiers in Nutrition examined the available evidence and found that people who consumed the most chili peppers were more likely to develop certain gastrointestinal cancers, especially esophageal cancer.
Oh, I can see that.
At the same time, researchers emphasize that the evidence does not prove chili peppers cause cancer and that more rigorous studies are still needed. So that's important to remember, okay?
So, yeah, correlation is not causation.
Correct. Yeah, we mentioned that earlier this morning. So,
E pluribus unum.
Gastrointestinal cancers include cancer of the esophagus, stomach, and colon or rectum. Together, they account for millions of new cancer diagnoses worldwide each year and remain among the leading causes of cancer-related deaths. Because these cancers are often discovered after they have already advanced, scientists continue searching for dietary and lifestyle factors that might influence risk. Chili peppers are eaten every day by billions of people and are an essential ingredient in cuisines across Asia, Latin America, Africa, and many other parts of the world.
How often are chili peppers sliding down your gullet?
Not that often. I'm not real spice intense.
No, me neither.
But there may be some and a lot of, spice mixes that you use and things like that may be considered, that may come from, pepper plants and things like that.
I wonder somebody like Sean Davis or like the hot ones, that's his name, right? That, when you're taking in these hot sauces, could it lead to the same thing?
I have some in the office. I have chili oil with chili flakes in it.
Do you partake of it?
Yeah, on like ramen or anything like that. It's very good.
So the signature heat comes from capsaicin, a natural compound that activates heat and pain sensing nerve receptors. It has attracted considerable scientific interest. Laboratory studies have suggested it may reduce inflammation, influence metabolism, and even kill certain cancer cells under specific conditions.
So it can give you cancer and kill it at the same time.
However, other experiments have found that under different circumstances, it could promote tumor growth or contribute to tissue irritation. That conflicting evidence has made its overall effect on cancer difficult to pin down. So to better understand the relationship, researchers combined data from 14 observational studies involving more than 11,000 participants, including over 5,000 people diagnosed with gastrointestinal cancers. Compared with the people who consumed the least chili peppers, those with the highest intake were about 64% more likely to develop gastrointestinal cancers overall. The strongest association involved esophageal cancer. People in the highest consumption group were nearly 3 times more likely to develop this cancer than those in the lowest intake group. The picture was less clear for other digestive cancers. Researchers did not find a statistically significant increase in the risk of stomach or colorectal cancer, although stomach cancer showed a trend toward higher risk with about 77% higher among heavy chili pepper consumers.
So I modified my diet recently over the past month and a half, just making some changes. And for sweetener, I use powdered asbestos.
Oh.
And I wonder if there's going to be a long-term issue with that.
I don't know if they've done any research on that or not. Based on the findings, researchers concluded that the evidence suggests that chili pepper is a risk factor for certain GI cancers. So it's kind of all over the place. Yeah.
So is a chili pepper one very specific kind of pepper, or are there? All right, so there's multiple different types of chili peppers.
Yes.
Okay.
Do they delineate?
Peppers are like a family,
right?
Yeah.
So
a weird family.
Yeah.
So you have jalapenos and habaneros and serrano and all kinds of them.
Those are all chili peppers. Okay.
I wonder if they can bore down a little bit and delineate between which peppers they believe are the most. I don't know. Hell.
Yeah.
Damn you, Just Sayin Institute.
The findings also vary by region. Studies from Asia, Africa, and North America generally found higher cancer risks among people with the greatest chili pepper consumption. By contrast, studies from Europe and South America found either no increased risk or even lower risk.
May I pose this notion? The areas that you stated are commonly known for their habitual smoking.
Oh, okay.
Right? I mean,
Asia, Africa, and North America?
Yeah, Asia definitely, they're a high level of smokers.
Europe has a lot of smokers, too.
Yeah,
So,
I think more
I don't
than
know.
Asia? I don't know.
You got me.
What about the band Asia?
I thought that they were pretty delightful.
They were awesome.
Yeah.
For the brief period. But back to chili peppers.
Researchers believe several factors could explain these differences. Average chili pepper intake varies dramatically around the world in cooking methods, pepper varieties, genetics, smoking, alcohol use, there you go, Steve, and other dietary habits may all influence the results as well.
Sometimes these things come out and they got to, they have to hold it up to the light and look at it. It might give you some a direction, but it's not always what it appears as in print. Then clearly chili peppers are causing cancer.
Well, that's why I'll end with this. Although these findings may sound concerning, they should be interpreted with caution. Every study included in the review was observational. That means the researchers could identify associations, but they could not determine whether chili peppers themselves cause the higher cancer risk. Other factors such as smoking, alcohol consumption, socioeconomic differences, infections, or overall dietary patterns could also contribute. So let's just scare you about chili peppers right now. How about
It's always
that?
good to scare people.
Yeah, right.
Can.
So, but anyhow, it was a study. It was published. I thought it was kind of interesting and worth mentioning in the Just Sayin Institute. Let's go back in and find another story. All right, engineers at Tornyol, Tornyol, or Tornyol, an American company backed by Y Combinator, listen to this, are building AI-powered micro drones they say could slash the cost of mosquito control by 100 times.
So you had a story a while ago that they were working on this. Do they actually have working prototypes now?
Yes. Instead of chemicals, swarms of these tiny machines would hunt and shoot down the pests in cities. On Tuesday, the co-founder, Alex Toussaint, posted a video showing the company's first air-to-air kill in which a small drone chased down and shot a moth in a test area.
So think about this. When we know that mosquitoes are responsible for the majority of deaths, in the world.
Animal-related deaths, yeah.
If you could control a population though it begs the question, what happens when they become too plentiful?
So a moth is not a mosquito, and the space was small, but it is a big step forward. The team is aiming for 40-gram drones that use smartphone microphones, ultrasonic sensors, and custom software to track insects.
I can't help but think about that poor moth that didn't. Yeah, I didn't do anything.
Because mosquitoes' wings make a distinct sound, the drones could tell them apart from other bugs, and the founders hope that just 10 drones could one day clear a square kilometer.
So correct me if I'm wrong, and maybe I'm getting this wrong. The mosquito that makes the noise is not the one that...
Well, I don't know.
So that bites you. That there's the male and the female, and it's my understanding that the one that you should be leery of is not the one making the noise.
Okay.
I don't know. Could
you
do a
got
little
me.
check on that, Marissa?
Got me.
But who's the loudmouth in that?
All I know is that when one flies right by your ear,
yeah, loud.
Like I have smacked my own ear really
Absolutely.
hard and done damage to my eardrum before, probably.
You ever have one go in your ear?
No.
Oh, it's the nightmare.
Wow.
Hey!
Not all mosquitoes, according to this post that Marissa found, not all mosquitoes make a noticeable noise. Only mosquitoes in flight produce that famous high-pitched whine. This noise comes from their wings flapping incredibly fast. However, some species are completely silent when they fly.
Ninjas.
And resting mosquitoes make no noise at all.
They don't purr.
So I don't think, I don't know, Steve.
All right, that's good. It came
Might be a myth. I don't
deep
know.
from the recesses of my ass.
So anyhow, yeah, they're working on AI-powered micro drones to shoot mosquitoes out of the air.
What if you could buy one and, sometimes you're sitting on your back porch, wouldn't you love to send out a fleet of micro drones and have some fun with an app on your phone?
Yes, but it's also...
Lead an air raid on the mosquitoes?
It's also pretty terrifying to just see these autonomous drones flying around.
I know.
Picking things off.
Go kill things. And how do you discriminate? How does the machine...
Yeah.
Let's say the mosquito has a good case why it should live. It can't you can't reason with it.
It doesn't have remorse.
That's my intro in the morning.
Yep. And it will not stop ever. All right, here is another one, and this has to do with video. Pixels control and analyze light on displays. A pixel either controls or analyzes, but not at the same time. Now, researchers from ETH Zurich in Switzerland managed to create a new type of pixel that can simultaneously do both. And I'll break down what this means. The hypercharged pixel, called a Fourier pixel, can generate and sense arbitrary light fields and tap into a pixel's full potential for carrying information by manipulating light intensity, oscillation phases, and polarization. So that's a lot of jargon. Essentially, what this means is that the pixel not only, so it's used to create images, to create light. So it's what we see on television screens. There's millions of them. It would also be able to sense light and visuals as well. So essentially
tailor it to that
essentially be a camera of sorts.
Yeah,
so it's the other way around, which is weird. So the team anticipates these pixels could support next generation technologies such as holographic displays, augmented reality, or devices that can actively correlate their output based on what they detect. The technology could also pave the way for camera display devices that both display images and sense incoming light. Isn't that weird?
Yeah. So if you're thinking about, I guess, let me throw this up in my noggin here. For example, could this lend the ability of like faux invisibility if it's reading a room and it's sensing what's around it?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
That'd be pretty cool if it was. I was thinking more of it's almost like a two-way.
Yeah. So eliminate the webcam on your laptop, and your actual screen is a camera.
Maybe just using
so
your
it could
screen. Yeah.
Parse part of the screen to be your camera.
It says here, according to Yannick Glauser and Sander Vonk, they said in this sense, it's not just an intensity pixel, but a compact optical element for full field light control.
So OLED and all that stuff has, super sharp colors and inky blacks, and now micro LEDs are all the rage. But this notion of the actual screen itself being a camera the other way, that's pretty interesting.
It's kind of what it sounds like. So Fourier pixels are built on several basic phenomenon in optical physics. They are called that because the mathematical principles at play were devised by mathematician Joseph Fourier.
And is he a furry?
And he's not a furry.
Okay.
In other words, the pixel can both generate and sense the key priorities of light to represent images or information. What's more, designing these pixels requires relatively simple mathematics, which makes them flexible and convenient for potential applications.
Let me post this notion. You're sitting there, you're watching TV. You don't have a remote. You just do a hand gesture and the schedule comes up and you point to the show that you want. Like it's reading, the screen is literally reading. That's what it sounds like. I don't know.
Maybe.
Could be.
Yeah.
All right, so Steve, OLED technology. What's that other technology?
Micro LED or plasma?
It wasn't plasma. Maybe it was OLED. All right, never mind.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
It's all right.
What do you want to know?
Well, so which one of the technologies is all right, I'm going to misspeak here, maybe, is like actually a powder?
Oh, there's a powder coating on some that I'm not that familiar with. OLED is considered the ultimate as far as inky blacks. However, the inky black leads to sharper contrast.
Right.
The thing with OLEDs is that they're not as bright as some other TVs. So micro LED is the new thing that is giving you that crystal sharp imagery and the vibrance. So, but Case, I think some of the equipment is coated in a powder, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
I remember there was a movie called Powder.
There was.
And that kid was weird.
He had some serious powers, though.
He could command lightning.
Yeah. All right. I have some medical news to pass along at the JSI. Researchers have discovered that a simple blood test might be able to predict whether some healthy older adults are likely to develop Alzheimer's symptoms years before memory problems appear. The findings come from a study of nearly 2,700 older adults. But for now, experts say it's mainly a research tool and not something healthy people should rush out to request. Still, they say the future of research is promising.
Well, didn't those markers appear for Chris Hemsworth? Like there were markers in his genetic The research they were doing on him, they did a real deep dive, and they found that he had the markers for potential early onset Alzheimer's, and he's adapted his lifestyle because of that.
The test measures a certain protein that's linked to the brain changes seen in Alzheimer's disease. People with the highest levels of this protein had a 38% chance of developing cognitive impairment within 5 years, rising to 78% over 10 years.
So you remember we heard about the GLP-1s is that they can actually, right now, and I think Dr. Mike even mentioned it, that they're finding that there is a potential.
Potential, yeah.
Yeah, to slow down the spread of that, to slow down the advancing of that, which is pretty amazing.
Those with very low levels had a much lower risk. Researchers hope that the test will make it easier to identify people for clinical trials of drugs that could prevent or delay Alzheimer's before symptoms begin.
There's also research to suggest that you can cure Alzheimer's with chili peppers.
Oh, wow.
That is
Okay.
kind of vague right now, though.
Scientists are encouraged by the results, but say that there are still important questions to answer before the test can be used to predict anyone's future.
Could you imagine if that and dementia and these early onset things, or not necessarily early onset, but all these things in general could be mitigated? And they, from what they're saying, and a lot of the research coming back is it's just kind of getting the brain to flick a switch and go one way, and it's right there, it's within grasp. But so many of these things are like that.
Some people with brain changes linked to Alzheimer's never go on to develop dementia, so the test isn't yet accurate enough to guide individual medical decisions as of yet. Would you guys want to know stuff like that?
If I was prone to, listen, if it's something that I could affect change on, I mean, we still don't understand why I crap instead of cry. Right?
No, there's somebody close to me who these sort of things are in his family lineage, and that's the reason why he ended up retiring. Right? He was going to work forever, and then. This sort of came to light, and he's like, I'm going to go out and enjoy my life while I can.
It actively informed his decisions. Is he doing anything lifestyle-wise to try to hedge his bets?
He's active. I know that, and he's been active for, the past, decade plus. And it was like they had gone on a European vacation, and he was having a hard time walking up the steps of, Pompeii or whatever. And actually they were in Greece. And so he stopped smoking. He cycles all the time, and he's just out there.
He's trying everything,
enjoying life.
All right,
as much as he possibly can.
What about you, Preston?
I think I would want to know.
Yeah.
Same thing. So I can take whatever steps that that we know can help along the way. I mean, it's like you said, it's an evolving science here, trying to figure this stuff out. But yeah, I think I'd want to know and try to be prepared.
I mean, if you have the option to not just roll over and accept your fate and to try to work against, and it's not even guaranteed, but if you were to see markers, why not heed that advice?
Until better preventative treatments come along, experts continue to recommend eating well, exercising regularly, getting enough sleep, staying mentally and socially active to support long-term brain health.
How does ice cream figure into this, Preston?
It's number one on the list.
Essential.
The research is an exciting step forward, but it's not time to read your future from a blood sample just yet. But they're working on it.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll cut myself and just see what I see in the blood.
Yeah. All right, let's go up into space for the next story from the Just Sayin Institute. California startup that was developing a constellation of satellites with giant mylar mirrors to beam sunlight back to Earth after dark is, despite their plan generating a slew of controversy, those satellites have passed another hurdle toward becoming a reality after the FCC approved them.
So I was watching a documentary on this, Preston. I'd mentioned it to you, and they were showing some pretty wild stuff with the technology.
Like you essentially at night, you can have a daytime party. You can order sunlight.
What
Is
I
this
like
what
and
we're talking about?
It becomes like Mr. Burns level stuff.
Okay.
But go ahead, Preston.
So back in July of last year, Reflect Orbital submitted an application to launch Earendil-1, a demonstration satellite designed to test whether sunlight can be redirected from orbit onto specific locations on Earth. The FCC has now granted the satellite permission to operate its radio equipment. The regulator also rejected calls to block the project over its enormous reflective surface, arguing that the mirror itself falls outside of the FCC's authority because the agency primarily regulates communication spectrum.
That's right.
Earendel 1 is expected to operate in a near polar orbit, roughly 625 kilometers above Earth. Once deployed, it will unfold an 18 by 18 meter aluminized mylar reflector, giving it a surface area of 324 square meters. Reflectal Orbital says the satellite will direct a moving beam of sunlight onto areas approximately 5 kilometers wide. The demonstration is designed to test the company's ability to deploy, control, and precisely aim the mirror from orbit.
So what they were showing in the demonstration, there is a search for somebody on a mountain.
Mm-hmm.
They could illuminate the mountain.
Oh wow!
But then they picked the marker of what they said the light would be the most often used would be a full moon.
Okay.
So so what you do think about though is a space laser beam has been that's the issue.
But here's what they really want to do with it. The startup ultimately wants to sell sunlight on demand to solar farms.
Mm-hmm.
So not looking for people on mountains.
Right.
Allowing them to continue generating electricity after sunset.
Yeah.
However, it has also floated possible some unconventional uses, including emergency response. There you go, Steve. Construction, agriculture, military operations, and large outdoor events.
And causing birds to explode in mid-flight.
Beyond the prototype, Reflectal Orbit has discussed deploying thousands of mirrors by the end of the decade and as many as 50,000 by 2035.
So listen, I just got my Sunny Mac solar panels. Keep that beam going. You know what I'm saying?
Unsurprisingly, astronomers are not thrilled by the prospect of tens of thousands of giant reflective objects crossing the night sky.
Why not?
The European Southern Observatory recently warned that Reflect Orbital's satellites could become the brightest artificial objects ever placed in orbit. Researchers say a full constellation could severely interfere with ground-based telescopes, create bright trails across astronomical images, increase overall sky glow, and make observations of faint celestial objects far more difficult.
Yeah, it's true. That light blindness.
Mm-hmm.
And other critics have raised concerns about the effects of nocturnal wildlife, human sleep patterns, aviation, and the issue of a private company deciding where and when parts of the planet should be illuminated.
Well, there's also what if you could elect your township voted to get an overall tan? You could do this.
Right.
And also the growing orbital debris problem.
Yeah, there's
a lot of space junk.
If you ever see the active NASA, depiction of how much stuff is orbiting the Earth right now, it is a floating junkyard.
Reflecting Orbital must comply with strict disposal requirements by deorbiting each satellite within 25 years of the end of its mission or earlier as well. But it's a pretty wild concept.
Well, there's the Bond movie GoldenEye was based on reflective mirrors that you could train and blow up things, and it's a little scary.
Right? This is literally the plot of Die Another Day, Steve, where they built a Mylar satellite we're going to have, all these different aspects of agriculture, and then they melt Iceland.
And then that guy who has all the diamonds blown into his face, turns out he wasn't telling the truth.
So they're looking to put 50,000 of these in orbit, which is wild. All right, now we had drones shooting down mosquitoes.
How are the mosquitoes retaliating?
How about 3D printed scuba suits for cyborg cockroaches?
Yeah, man. That's what I've been waiting for.
3D printed scuba suits for cyborg cockroaches. They have built this.
Okay.
This lets them survive and move underwater for up to 3 hours.
Because cockroaches, as we know, are just very, fragile. They don't survive anything except they survive everything.
Researchers at Nanyang Technological University in Singapore and Waseda University in Japan shared the work in a new paper in Nature Communications. Cyborg insects combine a living bug with electrodes that let people remotely steer its movements. I've heard of that before.
Yes.
They use less energy than regular robots since they move on their own muscles, and they are small enough to squeeze through tight, cluttered spaces. Such cyborgs have even helped in real search and rescue operations, including after the March earthquake in Myanmar. The catch is they still need oxygen. Which limits their use in water. The cyborg cockroach scuba suit.
It's okay, ma'am. I'm a cockroach and I'm here to help.
Fixes that. Cockroaches breathe through tiny holes called spiracles. So the team built a flexible shell that wraps the insect's body with small tubes feeding oxygen directly to these holes.
How do you get the cockroach to spit into its mask?
And an attached tank slowly makes oxygen through a chemical reaction.
I mean, think of the minute level that you're operating on to put a little scuba suit on tiny little cockroach.
So think about the person who came up with this idea.
Yeah. He doesn't have a girlfriend.
Well, either that or, it was mushrooms or I don't know what.
Yeah,
right?
But something.
You know what cockroaches need? Scuba suits.
Gave somebody an idea to do that.
Absolutely.
And then had to
I'm
pitch
tired
it
of seahorses not skateboarding.
and develop it and finance it and all of that.
Well, but the whole idea of, like you said, employing them to find people in rubble to get them into the tightest spaces.
Okay.
Yep. All right. Let's stick with insects. DEET. DEET.
Yes.
Has long been known as an effective repellent against mosquitoes, ticks, and other insects that are not only pesky, but may also pose a risk of serious illness such as malaria and Lyme disease.
A lot of the mosquitoes we were just talking about.
Approved insect repellents containing DEET or N-N-diethyl metatulamide were vetted by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration first in 1998 and again in 2014 as safe to humans. They repel insects by making it hard to smell people. But researchers have found that lotions containing a certain formulation of catnip are just as effective as DEET.
So basically, catnip could have the same repelling aspects of DEET. Do you use DEET a lot? DEET is in a lot of the mosquito...
I don't use any bug spray hardly ever at
Neither
all.
do I.
Yeah.
We have our True Lawn, they come by and they do these organic treatments on the lawn. I'm not the kind of person, my wife, Claire, she gets picked off. They love her, but I don't get a lot of mosquito bites.
I'm surprised you don't do that with as much golf as you play.
I very rarely have I been at a golf course where the bugs are a problem. In the Poconos, yes.
Yeah.
Whenever I've played there, it's like you got to take bug spray with you.
Although you got to figure, any golf course, worth it, they probably take care of it themselves.
Yeah, I don't know.
You would hope, right?
Yeah,
They probably have scuba suit wearing cockroaches that are deployed to take care of that.
I have some organic ones that are really good. No DEET, and they smell delicious.
Do they have citronella in them or?
Citronella is the common bamboo mosquito repellent solution.
I looked it up. The one that I use is Cara Joe Skincare, and it's lemongrass, rosemary, and catnip infused with avocado.
There you go. You just provided scientific evidence, Marissa.
So that's what this is. So the study presented Tuesday at the Society for Experimental Biology conference in Florence was conducted in Uganda, where mosquito-borne illness is a serious problem. Scientists were looking for cheaper alternatives to DEET that were as effective as repelling mosquitoes. They found a 6% catnip oil was as effective as DEET, and that a 2% catnip oil was only marginally less effective than that.
So I wonder if this is going to mean a lot of cats are going to be going through withdrawal.
Catnip.
Get off the catnip.
Catnip's scientific name is Nepeta cataria, and cats like the plant because it has a euphoric effect in them. People do not seem to experience euphoria when ingesting catnip tea or other forms of the plant, but it has been shown to have a calming effect and is sometimes used to help with sleep.
It's so wild, and we've seen it countless times with all of our cats, seeing a cat trip on catnip.
Oh, it's hilarious.
It's so funny. They're in the zone, man. They're loving life.
And some of them have different reactions.
Yeah.
They're so much fun.
Man, it's great.
I personally have smoked my fair share of catnip.
Really?
Thinking I was smoking marijuana.
No.
Oh, dude, back in the teenage years?
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. Somebody'd sell you catnip.
Oh,
That's fun.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Or, you would try it just to see if it would get you high.
But it looks like, it looks very much like
Yeah, that's why it's easy
Yeah.
to pawn it off. Some people have used catnip as an insect repellent, but its effectiveness or in what form it might work had not been rigorously tested until this new study. The first part of the research conducted in labs found that catnip oil acts as a mosquito repellent. Field research conducted in Uganda confirmed the findings by tracking how many mosquitoes landed on the legs of volunteers who were using the two different formulations of catnip lotion.
Ah.
Do you remember that old off TV commercial?
Yes.
where the person would stick their arm in a tank full of mosquitoes and they would just pounce on them.
It drove me effing crazy.
I hated seeing
it. Drove
that
me
thing.
effing crazy. It's like, dude, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
He'd stick his arm. There was like a fish tank with a plastic opening on the side where they could fit an arm. His arm goes through. He had a hairy arm, I remember, too. And those things were just chomping on him, and then they spray, and then they stay away.
Yeah, put the arm back in, and then that time
By that time, he has malaria, and he dies on the...
That's what I was wondering.
Right.
Aren't we taking a risk here?
Right, yeah.
All right,
Here, we're going to demonstrate this tiger repellent.
Did you ever have that issue back in the day with fleas on your dogs?
Our dogs always had a flea collar on back in the day. That's what they gave you, obviously, but not really. I don't remember having any dogs that had flea issues.
We had it with cats.
Okay.
So we had a cat that we took in. This is years ago when we were kids, and we, our pet taking care of acumen wasn't all that it could be, and it became so bad in our house case that you would walk across, and we had like old horrible Brady Bunch shag carpet.
Yeah.
And you could literally see black dots on your legs forming as they were jumping on.
Yeah.
It was just horrendous.
So,
we had to set like a bomb, not a hand grenade, but to get rid of the fleas. It was horrific.
We had to do the same thing. So it was like the mid to late 80s, and we had a major flea problem with our dogs. And who knows, maybe it was actually because of our cat. I don't know. But like no flea collar was going to take care of it. And we had to vacate the house for the day and have that thing bombed. Yeah, but
and then it can immediately come back. If any intrusion can have it happening all over again.
All right, one more.
Yeah.
Cool on that? Is our guest here yet?
No,
okay,
on
all
the
right.
way.
Then we'll go ahead. A meteorite that crashed into a New Jersey home is now considered one of the most scientifically valuable meteorites ever recovered. And that's a meteorite, by the way.
Absolutely.
That explosion, that effect that Steve plays, I think it was in Russia or somewhere, was the sound of a meteorite as it entered the Earth's atmosphere. So anyhow, it was... most scientifically valuable meteorite ever recovered because it contains the building blocks of life, according to astronomers. So it was in July of 2024. A meteorite tore through the roof of a home in Hillsborough, New Jersey, shortly after it shook the New York City area with a sonic boom. The owner of the house told researchers that he heard a crash, found a hole in the ceiling of the master bedroom. The meteorite had a strong sulfur-like odor, and black fragments, debris, and dust covered the room.
There was nothing in the meteor, nothing to be worried about. Everything is fine. It was just a rock, useless, no impact on mankind.
The meteorite was...
Now go about your day and please leave us alone.
The meteorite was then preserved by the homeowner.
Preserved by the who?
Homeowner. Using disposable gloves, aluminum foil, and glass jars.
And it took care of everything.
According to Mike Zelensky of NASA's Johnson Space Center, he said, thanks to the homeowner's quick reaction, these are the most pristine CM12 meteorites we know of.
You are the one they call Zelensky. Come down to our basement and wear this parasite on the back of your neck.
After observation, scientists learned that the meteorite was a CM12 carbonaceous chondrite.
Yeah, you can
carbonaceous.
Carbonaceous. Ostentatious. Flaccadacical.
An exceptionally rare and primitive type of meteorite, according to a paper published.
Sounds like Al Sharpton wrote this.
Carbonaceous.
Flaccadacious. Modacious.
It was published in Science Advances. So a forensic study of the meteorite's fragments showed that they preserved bits of a small, primitive asteroid that once had been soaked in concentrated salty fluids.
Think about that. Think about, by the way, and just a side story to this, they know that there are meteors and asteroids that have a wealth of stones and gems and just not gems, but obviously minerals that are worth trillions of dollars.
Sure.
That they just need to be grabbed out of the sky and mined.
So there's a possibility that this is part of a space pickle?
Since it was salty, briny fluids.
That's pretty
for
wild.
sure.
Space pickle.
They come from space, no, they don't come from here. These are the space
Pickles. A high concentration of salt in briny fluids can create molecules crucial to life on Earth. And scientists said that this meteorite contains some of those building blocks of the life.
Did you ever see the original Andromeda strain? The Michael Crichton.
Parts of it. I mean, it's a little old, and I haven't sat and watched the whole movie.
It's so brilliant, though, in what the conclusion. I mean, this thing, an Arizona town, small town. They're not getting any communications out of this town. The Air Force does a flyover. They have a problem. One of the planes, the jets crashes, and there is this organic matter that has come to Earth in a meteor, and so they figure out how to mitigate it and how to deal with it. But it's a fascinating thing, and it's as real feeling if we were to encounter something like that could come in on a meteorite. You know,
the main thing I remember out of Adronima strain was they had an issue in the facility where it was contaminating certain areas, and they had to shut off parts of it, and it was very methodical.
What they found is it would erode certain types of rubber, so their suits and hoses were were dissolving.
Compromised.
Right, yeah.
So the meteorite, which is about the size, it says here, of a heavy airline bag. I don't know what the hell that means.
Well, you know.
I think like a carry-on bag, maybe.
Oh, okay, like a piece of luggage.
Yeah. I don't know.
Who calls it an airline bag?
I know.
Right?
So
Stupid.
It was about the size of a heavy airline bag, entered the atmosphere at about 32,000 miles an hour.
It's about the way most people will pull their piece of luggage to the airport.
Sending a shockwave through New York and New Jersey. Dozens of observers in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Pennsylvania reported seeing the meteor seeing the meteor to the American Meteor Society. What? Okay, anyway. So they said that this particular instance, this actual, example is one of the best they've ever had.
Remember that footage? I don't know exactly where it was. It was maybe about a year and a half ago. It was in the front patio area of a house.
Yeah.
And almost the size of like just a large, maybe a 50 cal bullet.
Yep.
But came down and just shot down into the ground, and it was lit up, and boom.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy to think about stuff like that making it through, but it does occasionally.
Yep, it does. It's Jersey. It's local.
Yes.
So,
Yay.
there you go. Yeah. I think we're done, right?
That's it, yeah.
That's all we have time for. Thanks for strolling the campus of the Just Sayin Institute. We'll come back again sometime and expand your knowledge, friend. Right now, we're going to take a break. When we get back, wrestler KC Navarro of TNA Impact Live will be here. His event's coming up next week. Leah Core Center will find out about all the information from KC. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
It just goes back to when you understand something and when you have the education behind it and you know the why behind the what, it becomes less scary. And the way I always frame it is like when I talk to elementary school kids or middle school kids, you're going to learn algebra, right?
Yeah.
And it looks very scary. But as soon as your teacher teaches you that process, which shout out to teachers, love them, they're my favorite people, it's not as scary anymore because you understand the process. The same thing is true with weather. And my job is literally public safety first. And then in every forecast I do, it's breaking down the science behind meteorology. And I think when you bring it down to a level that everybody can understand, you're much more successful in your job.
Yeah.
I found that to be the case. I do like a half-hour live show every morning, and I just geek out over this stuff, and people appreciate it.
They clearly do.
I want to get what you think about this weekend because anybody who is tuned in for that, we're kind of dancing around this the whole thing. But we'll dive into meteorology and the science of it, and also I want to defend meteorologists. I think they get beat up more than they deserve to be. And with that, we're going into a questionable weekend with weather because you can't just flat out say, here's how much we're going to get and here's where we're going to get it, because there are things that are changing that could alter that.
So
Sunday, let's get to that.
So you're trying to predict what a chaotic 3D fluid, which is water, is going to do at 30,000 feet 5 days in the future. That's why it's inaccurate at times. But this pattern we've been setting up for weeks. So to see it actually come to fruition is amazing. We have.
So let me just jump in if I could. When you say you've been setting up, you've been seeing the indicators it was going to go this way?
Absolutely.
Okay, but it's not that it has been formed and it has just been on this trek.
No, so we can look at overall patterns, and it's called pattern recognition for a month out. We knew that there was going to be a ridge building in the west. We knew that there would be a trough in the east, but we knew that the upper air patterns, the teleconnections they're called, were going to do a certain thing a month out. you can't say with any degree of certainty that, oh, there's going to be a storm on this date and it's going to do this.
Yeah.
But we can say, hey, there's probably going to be some activity within this week because the upper air pattern is telling us that's the case. So I love long range forecasting. I know it's a pain in the neck, but it's rewarding when you see it all come together. So with this particular storm, I do believe it's going to come together. All of our guidance is in lockstep with one another. There's a lot of moisture available. This is coming from the south. Anytime you have a southern storm, you have a lot of moisture. So that is the number one ingredient that you need, right? Number two ingredient is the cold air, which we clearly have. We have an Arctic outbreak that's going to be coming down from Canada as we go into Friday and Saturday. So once that happens, once you marry the moisture and the cold together, it goes bam, right? This is what's called an overrunning event. So low pressure develops down to the south, and that warm, moist air rises over the cold. It condenses, and then that's when you're going to get your thumping of snow. The one thing that does give me pause is it's going to be turning into a Miller B type storm. I know you're like, what the heck is that? There's going to be two pieces of low pressure. One out over West Virginia, and then it has to physically transfer its energy to the coastal low. And anytime that happens, so much can go wrong. I have PTSD about a storm that never happened back in 2015. So that comes to the forefront automatically.
So these are the variables. So let me ask you,
Yes.
for example, this weekend just passed. We had a bit of snow come through, and then it paused, and then another. Is that similar to what you were just talking about? Or was that part of the same storm?
So completely different storm, but similar dynamics where there was a transfer of energy. It happened later on. It was down along the Carolina coast. So we had a little clipper system early in the morning. So we picked up a couple inches of snow out of that. Then there was this lull, a dry slot, which I highlighted for a couple days saying, hey, guys, this is possible. Yeah. That's why I didn't go with the 4 to 6 inches everybody was calling for. I went lower. Similar to this, I see the ridiculous totals of 18 to 24 inches that are being put out there.
I'm so glad you said ridiculous. So what are we thinking?
But what if I told you that that's possible?
Oh, you had to go there.
So yes, what's going to happen is that the models, the raw snowfall maps that you're seeing on social media right now, those are based off of a 10-to-1 ratio. And what do I mean by that? Well, if there's an inch of liquid that falls out of the sky, you have to multiply that by 10 to get how much snow you're going to get. So baseline 10, right? Well, that's when temperatures are around 32 degrees. That's called marginal. There's more moisture in each flake. We're going to be seeing snowfall at 15 to 20 degrees initially. So your ratio almost doubles. It'll be 15 or 20 to 1. So if an inch of liquid is falling out of the storm, you could end up with 20 inches. However, realistically, I'm going to, temper your expectations here.
So let me jump in again. And I apologize, but I'm so stupid that we need to be by the nose. I have heard that the snow that's going to fall is going to be of a very light, powdery nature.
Yes and no.
Oh.
So initially, absolutely. So like I said, we start off with temperatures in the teens. But as we go later into the afternoon on Sunday, I think we're fine up in the Philly metro area. But down towards the shore, the temperature gradient is going to increase so much. We'll get up above 32. You'll probably have some mixing with rain and sleet and some ice down there as well. So that's going to change the consistency. So your ratio is not going to be consistent from, say, the Lehigh Valley all the way down towards the shore. Right around Philly will be probably 18 to 1. Down towards the shore, it's probably going to be more like a 12 to 1. So that's another variable that we have to take into consideration. First 8 hours of the storm, it's going to be fluffy. As the low climbs up north in latitude, that ratio is going to change a little bit. You'll get more of a wet consistency, and then it's going to be kind of crunchy snow, and then that's all going to freeze over. So
it's Wednesday, right? It is Wednesday. When do you think you'll have a clearer picture?
Yeah, probably by Monday morning.
Well, if you're going to be the clearest, you're probably right.
Exactly.
When will we? So right now, in this area, in Philadelphia, in the general outlying areas, when should we start to see the first snowfall, and when should we expect it wrapping up? I'll ask for the snow total projection.
So realistically, I'll know by tomorrow what type of snow we're going to get, how much. I think that the first flakes will fall after, say, midnight on Saturday. So if you have plans on Saturday, I know I've had people message me about weddings and stuff, you're good.
Yeah.
But late Saturday night, it's going to start. It'll be light at first, and then the moderate to heavy snow would break out probably after daybreak, 7, 8, 9 o'clock on Sunday morning, and then it's going to snow throughout the day on Sunday. Wow. And then for our teacher friends out there, I think you're going to probably get another Monday off, as some light snow showers will still be with us on Monday, but we'll be digging out. I think at the very least, we're going to get about 6 inches.
All right, what time should I start on the driveway so that I haven't wasted my time? You know what I mean? Should I wait till the evening to get to that, as late as possible before going to bed Saturday into Sunday? Or Sunday into Monday, I mean?
Yeah, so I think you obviously want to put down the salt first. And you're lucky in that it is going to be lighter, especially if you live up this way. So it's not going to be a back-breaking snow. But I would hold off until probably before bed on Sunday.
Son of a bitch.
I'm sorry.
No, you're right.
Well, we go to bed. We get up crazy early in the morning.
That makes sense.
So,
But the problem is, if you let it go overnight, the temperatures are going to plunge again.
That's what we don't want.
And if we do get the wetter snow to work in, then that's all going to freeze over, and it's going to be a block of ice.
All right, so another question. I hate to bombard you with this. I will pre-treat. At a certain point, though, the snow falls, temperature drops. Sure. It's a moot point.
Exactly.
So what I do is I treat, and I will do a couple of passes. But you're saying a safe bet to sort of, in this general area, around 7?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay.
7, 8 o'clock, but you're probably in bed by then, so 7.
Yeah, all right, there we go.
7 I can do.
And hopefully a lighter, snow blowable kind of.
Well, and then the other issue with that is we'll probably have some level of wind, and then that's going to create
Blows it right back.
reduced visibility, and So
I'm just wondering about my commute, or our commute, I should say, on early Monday morning.
Yeah, that's going to be a rough one.
Yeah.
Especially up this way, you're probably going to have 6 inches of snow on at least 6 inches on the ground. So as long as PennDOT and NJDOT do their job, I mean, they're the great people out there. So
one of the big secrets is that it's a double-edged sword. You're going out on roads that aren't, maybe not be in optimum condition. They've been doing a good job as of late.
Sure.
But it's also less of the slushed up, gummed up, gooed up traffic nightmare. So you're kind of driving on virgin snow that is actually, I find, more drivable.
Yeah, you're right. I found that as well. I guess it all depends on the type of tires you have. And unfortunately, as good a driver as one may be, you never know who else is out there that doesn't know how to drive in those conditions.
Right, and that's where the odds are in our favor. There are nobody out to begin with.
This is true. This is very true.
All right, so we've gotten the weekend and your predictions. Let's talk a little bit about you, because you are you're essentially a social media meteorologist.
Sure.
Instagram, your main platform?
Mostly Facebook, but Instagram and TikTok at Nor'easter Nick. But I spent a decade in local TV news.
Yeah, where were you working? Give us your resume.
NBC 40 out of Atlantic City. I got my job when I was 17.
Okay.
So I was still in high school.
You're a Brigantine, you were born, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Atlantic City. I grew up in Brigantine. So I did weather all through middle school. I went into high school, Hamilton High, and my 2 TV media teachers came to me and they said, there's a job posted for NBC 40 for a weekend meteorologist. And I said, you guys are crazy. I'm 17. I'm never going to get a job. Well, I put together a demo reel, sent it out, and I get a call back like a couple weeks later, and they hired me on the spot.
Wow.
So
Great.
I did that for 10 years. Then they closed down when Comcast bought NBC. They didn't want us competing with NBC in Philly anymore. So I had a decision to make. Do I go into a new market, or I had a decent social media following at the time, so I decided to start my own business. I called all the advertisers and said, if I start a hyper-local weather network, would you support? I started with 5, enough to pay my mortgage and my bills, and now we've got 60 advertisers, and we have a staff of 22 and 4 different companies under the Norcast umbrella.
You have a staff of 22 people?
Yes.
All doing what?
So we have different divisions. We have a production and marketing company, so we have people there. We have a weather consulting company, which people are working behind the scenes consulting with towns and municipalities and landscapers. And then I just bought a magazine. So Like literally all over the place.
Okay, well, let me ask you, as a meteorologist, and as one who is going into business for themselves, when you see television meteorologists, they have access to, from what I assume, is company-owned equipment and things like Doppler radar and all this other stuff. Sure. So those are extremely expensive. Do you own your own weather detecting equipment?
I do. I have the same technology that 6ABC has. And how did I do that?
Yeah.
Well, when I worked at my station, the last 6 months I was there, we happened to buy all of this. Before that, it was all PowerPoint, and it was very basic.
So this station was going under. You bought the equipment,
and I
that they
said,
own.
I'll pay you pennies on the dollar. I bought everything for less than 10 grand.
Wow.
Yeah. So
you've got the same deal.
But wait, there's more.
Okay.
So I did some interim work for a year and a half for a station that was trying to do all of New Jersey's news. Right around COVID. And it was the perfect timing because I was like, well, I need healthcare and that kind of stuff. And they hired me, and they lasted about a year and a half. They went under. Guess what? They also had the same equipment. And I said, I'm going to buy that from you. So now I have 2 TV stations equipment in my house, in my home TV studio, and that's how we run everything.
And so you have this sort of weather empire.
Yeah.
What a lot of people comment about, and I have to admit, recently turned on to by these guys here, and Casey's wife being a huge fan, is you're bringing it down to a really localized thing. So even on, and we have wonderful weather people, media people, who do a great job. But a lot of times you're shooting for the largest umbrella, so to speak, no pun intended. And a lot of people say, "What about my area? What about?" And they really want you to say, "What about on my street?" But you kind of massage that a little bit with what you do.
I do. You know what? I have a lot of fun with it. I think most people understand you can't get that hyper specific, but our whole model is about being in your backyard, essentially. We don't want to be vague in general. So we do focus on the 7 South Jersey counties. And now we are coming over the bridge into Philly territory. I was just at the King of Prussia Mall over the weekend.
Yeah.
No lie. 5 people stopped me to talk. And I was like, this is really cool because my career started in Atlantic City, and now I feel like I'm being validated in the Philly market.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. You're such a self-starter. It's a great success story. This is a little bit of a personal nature,
Sure.
And if you don't want to answer it, that's fine. But you talked about. Thank you, Marissa. So our next guest is here to chat a little bit about events coming up next week at the Leah Cora Center. It will be July 30th and 31st, so that's next Thursday and Friday. TNA Wrestling at Leah Core Center. We are very happy to meet and have in our studio this morning Mr. KC Navarro.
Hey, pardon me. It's great to be here. Steve, Preston, how we doing today?
Wonderful, brother. How you doing?
I'm feeling blessed. It's cool to be here.
Nice.
It's a real honor. Thanks for having me.
I would like to comment first on the bling that you're wearing, sir.
Thanks.
That is pretty badass.
Well, look, I can't call myself blessed and not look good.
You have to look blessed.
I gotta look blessed.
Yeah. Where did you get that, and who commissioned it? I mean,
actually, shout out to our ring announcer, Mackenzie Mitchell. She has a whole brand headlined by MM.
It's
and
a big KC.
Yeah, it's my whole
diamond
logo.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
Literally have my logo tattooed on my hand. Damn, my career is my life.
Yeah. Well, listen, I was doing a little research, but all of us were on you and your life, and I'd only had a chance to watch a little bit, but there is a documentary called Immersed, KC Navarro. It's about a 30-minute long story of your life. Yeah. And, dude, man, the whole bullied thing, I hate that.
Yeah, it was rough.
And, to touch a little bit on this, you are very gracious. Obviously, it affected you in a certain way. But tell us a little bit about that part of your life, if you don't mind.
Yeah, man, it was very hard. I was never a big guy. I'm still not a big guy. I'm only 5'6", maybe 150 pounds on a good day. Mm-hmm. So I was always bullied. I loved wrestling. I always wore the T-shirts, the hats, the wristbands. Like, that's what I wanted to wear. That's what I was into.
Right.
And, other kids, they weren't into that. They were into football, basketball, which, I mean, hey, I love sports too, but wrestling was my thing.
Yeah.
I got called every name in the book. They were telling the girls, don't mess with him. He likes men in tights and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, geez, man, this is the one thing that made me feel like my dad was home because my dad was in the military. So,
it's
before
something
he left,
you and he bonded on, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it was one thing that made me feel like he was home or at least coming home. And obviously these kids didn't know that.
Yeah.
But they told me I'd never make it. I was too small, and I'll never be like a John Cena or whatever. And I fought my way to the top.
And you were saying in the documentary, like between like 8th grade and senior year, like it didn't end.
No.
Like it just, you had no friends.
None. I had maybe in school one friend.
Wow. Which is, so your sisters are wrestlers.
Correct.
So you both found solace in wrestling.
Right.
Obviously, your love for wrestling comes from that. What would you have done without wrestling?
I don't know. Wrestling really saved my life. I feel like if I didn't have guys that I could look up to realize that I could be larger than life, even if I'm not a big guy, I really don't think that my life would have been what it is now.
And how crucial was it? We talk about it all the time. The turn from the mega Hulk Hogan's and the Andre the Giants, and you wanted to see almost like monsters,
right?
And then it became something more aerobatic and Jackie Chan-esque and all this crap. And now that's kind of ruling the roost, and you came into your heyday, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Looking up to guys like Rey Mysterio, AJ Styles, and Amazing Red, who's a TNA legend. Those were guys that were not big, never supposed to make it, and they created a whole style and they opened a door for guys like me to have a chance to make it.
So let me ask you: it was a 2025 Slammiversary.
Yeah,
you have a profound injury.
Yeah.
And what happened? How did it happen?
So I had just did the crossover with TNA and WWE. A few days later, I had a match with the Hardy Boys. I did a dive, tore my ACL. Didn't know it was torn until a week before I was supposed to wrestle on WWE. They were going to do surgery right away, but my doctor said, if you want to do this ladder match, you can do it. It was the day before my birthday. It was the first time my whole entire family, my teachers, kids that I grew up with were all going to be able to see me live in a real arena. So I pushed through. I put a brace on, and I did that ladder match with a torn ACL.
Well, let me ask you to the point that Preston made. Like all the years of bullying, wrestling is now everything.
Right.
Was there a moment when you're doing the recuperating and physical rehab where you're like, is this over?
Absolutely.
It did go.
There was definitely a moment when it happened, and after my match at Slammiversary, I kind of left there going, I think I just lost everything. Because I knew I was on the rise, and I knew great things were about to happen, and I was put in a really good position. At the time I was in a tag team, but I was really like the side act. So I thought that was going to be a good opportunity for me to really showcase who I was. And if you were to tell me right now I'd be in the position I'm in after tearing my ACL and losing 8 months of my career, I would never believe you.
Well, I'm sure you have a good perspective now as far as what can happen in this industry physically to you.
Absolutely.
Before this happened, though, had you thought about it much to go, if something goes sideways, I better have a backup plan?
No. It was wrestling or nothing.
All right. Well, how about now?
Nope. I'm still down.
You got to be practical about it, though,
I'll tell you this.
I gotta do it.
So let me jump in here because we've observed this throughout all the years of having wrestlers. Preston, we were talking about this because wrestlers coming in today, it's going to be great. You guys are taught. Either I think you're drawn to it because you have these attributes of being charismatic and conversive, and you know what you're doing.
Sure.
And so, does any aspect of that acting, or have you been approached? I mean, look at who the stars. We talking about Cena and Dwayne Johnson and the other people who've gravitated into wrestling. Does that have? I mean, in acting, does that have a attraction for you?
If you want to talk about that being a backup plan, sure.
Yeah.
I always make the joke because all my friends and my family are like, I don't know why you don't do acting. You do so good in acting, and I'm like, well, one day maybe they'll start calling me the Pebble. So just like
The Rock.
That's great.
I like that.
When you were, because you were such a fan as a kid, when you were coming up, when you were growing up, before you started, actively doing it, who were you pretending to be? Who were you acting, posing like?
I was pretending to be John Cena for sure. I mean, a lot of kids did my age. The Rock. I loved The Rock's energy, his personality. Then, time went on, so a lot of guys came into wrestling. It was different, like Matt Cardona, who's Zack Ryder, Nick Nemeth, who's with us, but he was known as Dolph Ziggler at the time, who was my hero, and I'm actually fighting him this Thursday on AMC for the world title, so talk about chasing his dreams, right?
Yeah. You got to do what you got to do.
Those were a couple of my guys that I used to be like.
Can you do the Rock eyebrow thing?
Oh, of course. I do both eyebrows, too. Both eyebrows. Literally. Yeah. That's a talent.
By the way,
a talent,
people, they move away from it. There's a whole group of people now who are just raised on Dwayne Johnson don't know what his dad did. There was an NBC series that was kind of a quasi-biographical where he was in, and they had a guy who looks like him, is younger, and then all those wrestlers of yore were depicted in that series. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So your sister is it Diamante?
Correct.
Right. And so did she get into it after you got into it, or were you both kind of simultaneous?
So she is 8 years older than me.
Okay.
She was in it first. She got to TNA and all that. My big thing was I didn't want the world to know that was my sister.
Oh.
And I don't think anybody really found out until like 2019 because I started in 2015. I think she started in like 2012, maybe 10. I could be wrong on that. She'll probably kill me later. But she was way ahead of me. But the one thing I didn't want people to think that I just got a job or I got known
through that
because of my sister.
No,
I wanted to make my own name.
and that's what people will think,
right?
So you avoided that. But and your girlfriend, you have a girlfriend wrestler, or is that still going on? You always have to know to the minute.
Yeah,
we don't know how things change, but. As well, a wrestler?
Correct. She's Elena Black in TNA.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So the and I assume this is in the ring and outside the ring. You're surrounded with
always 24/7.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And you have an event coming up at Chickies, correct?
Yeah. This Thursday, July 23rd, from 9 to 11. Everybody can come over and watch me versus Nick Nemeth for the world title. So I'm very excited. I'm excited to share that moment with the fans.
You'd mentioned and Preston, we have the wrestlers in here and they'll talk about their different events, and there's the steel cage match, which to me I see stuff like that. And listen, we know there's you guys are performers above all else, but you, as evidenced by your injury, you can get the crap kicked out of you.
Yeah.
What's the Ultimate X?
And
that's
X.
another one of these stunt things.
Yeah, I was just in the Ultimate X this past Slammiversary on June 28th in Boston. So it's an interesting match. So picture like a ladder match. You got the belt hanging up in the middle.
Right.
But basically there is no ladder. The only way you can get it is that there's almost like two cables going into an X.
You're climbing the cables?
And you got to climb the platform, go on the X, and use all your upper body strength to get close to the X. You have to grab the belt, and not only do you have to grab it, you have to drop about 15 to 20 feet down, and both your feet have to hit the floor. Yeah.
Oh, Marissa just pulled up a picture of that. That's crazy looking.
Yeah, so think about it. When I got put into the Ultimate X this year after coming back from torn ACL, I was a little nervous.
Yes, because you got to land down on that.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, Casey, and just in the world of wrestling in general, do you think someday they will actually train the referees to see what's actually going on? I mean, dude, he's hitting him with a chair over there, and you're looking over at this. What? Come on.
They're very distracted people.
They're very distracted. It's almost as if they're supposed to not look.
Sometimes it works to your advantage. Sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
But very distracted people, I would say. Yeah, it's very, very interesting.
I always love that.
They all have
attention
ADD,
deficit
man.
for sure.
It's so entertaining. It's so wonderful. And again, you guys are all you're the ultimate performers in that. Well, you talk about your former teammates who have explained what's happened with that, because while you were recuperating, they turned their backs on you.
They did. AJ Francis, he was really the ringleader.
Oh, was he?
Because Rich Swann, I came in and replaced him when he had to go away for a little bit. So I never got to really team with Rich. But me and AJ Francis, we were doing everything together. It sucked. He kind of made me do things I didn't want to do. But you know what? I wanted a spot in TNA, and I needed a job. So I was really happy to do whatever I had to do. But yeah, man, I tore my ACL, literally risking my career at Slammiversary for a shot for us to win the tag team titles.
Yeah.
And when I least expected it, man, he kicked the crutches out from out of me, told me to go home, never come back.
Miserable prick.
And he did not expect me to come back this past April, because I really was supposed to be out for about 12 to 13 months. I got cleared in 7. I returned in 8.
Were you one of these guys who, and we talk about it all the time, if you have an athlete, whether it be a football player, basketball player, this is your bread and butter. It's everything. Yeah. And being told you need to take a certain amount of time to recuperate, are you just constantly, how did you not jump at the gun and end up injuring yourself further? Because it seems like this is everything you want. You want to get back as quickly as you can. How did you avoid doing that?
So I had to try to stay calm. I'm really big into my faith. So I was really just trying to stay calm, just trying to say, you know what, whatever's meant to be will be. Right. There's a reason that this happened at the time that it did. But the thing that kind of made me rush a little bit was my uncle that I'm very close with. He ended up getting cancer. So I wanted to get back as soon as I could because it was one thing that motivated him was me living out my dream. I got lucky. I got back in April. It was one thing he got to see every Thursday. Unfortunately, he passed away about 2 months ago. But you know what? It was motivating for me. I needed to come back for him. I needed to come back to help my family. I needed to come back to inspire my 2 younger brothers. So, I felt like I had a lot of... I had a lot of pressure on myself, but you know what? I had to stay calm, focus on my faith, and just keep pushing as much as I could.
Just do that, yeah.
If you're just jumping in with us, is KC Navarro's here, TNA Wrestling, and they've got rest of the events coming up at Lear Core Center next Wednesday, July 30th and 31st, so next Thursday and Friday, Case.
Yeah, so when like a professional football player tears an ACL, obviously they can't train the way that they want to. They could take that time to become a more cerebral player, right? You can get into the film room, maybe understand the sport a little bit better, the schemes, the dynamics. I don't know what you can do when you're sidelined. Did you get bigger?
I did.
Okay.
I actually just shredded down, but I was about 40 pounds after surgery. And then I jumped up to 165 when I came back.
Dude, that's substantial.
And I'm about 155 now. So I shredded out a lot of the weight. But yeah, I worked really, really hard. The moment I was able to get back in the gym, I worked hard.
You're in good shape now. Listen, so I assume when you're doing what you do, you're always training. There's no off season. There's no. And do you have a tendency to overtrain, or do you have to? How do you keep yourself on track with that?
I mean, the good thing is I travel a lot, so I usually leave my wrestling to the weekends, and during the week it's just straight strength training.
Okay,
that's what I do.
Yeah.
So I try to give my body a little bit of a break from all the bumps.
You have to hoist
stunts.
some big guys. I mean,
yeah. I mean, before I got hurt, I was squatting about 330.
Nice.
I was deadlifting 435.
Wow.
Yeah. For my size, it's pretty insane.
Pretty damn good. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure nutrition is a part of that. So
Absolutely.
we have something for you this morning. Can we,
let's do it.
Bringing it in real quick.
Bring that
yeah,
in,
sure. Why not? Because today is Casey's birthday.
That's awesome.
We're bringing in some special
that's very nice.
birthday cupcakes. We're going to bring one around. You don't have to eat it right now.
Okay, I can save it.
They're protein infused, by the way.
That's great.
Yeah, they got creatine.
Everything. A little bit of the good stuff.
Everything you need.
Thank you so much.
A growing young man right there.
Thank you so much.
How old may we ask today?
27.
27 years old today.
27.
Yeah.
Should I blow out the candle?
Yeah,
Should I just make a nice wish?
I assume you're going to, I don't want to say it for you because you ruin it if you do your continuous victories, correct?
Maybe.
Maybe.
All right, here he goes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So you were saying, wait, how many years ago? Because you were saying that that thing that had happened was the day before your birthday. So how many years ago was that?
Slamversary?
Yeah.
Last year.
That was, okay.
Just 1 year. That's so, I mean, to go that amount of time. Anytime I've ever injured myself, I've been exercising for most of my life. It just drives you crazy. It does. But it does test your mettle mentally.
It really does, especially ACL, because, you can start walking after about 4 to 5 weeks, and then by 2 months, like you start to feel normal.
Yeah.
And that was the hard part. Like when I started feeling normal, I was walking, starting to run a little bit. But they were like, brother, you're not even close.
Not worth it.
Not even close.
Yeah.
And that was hard. That was very hard.
Casey, I wanted to go back a little bit because you had, you mentioned your dad and you guys bonded over wrestling, and he was away in the military. In the documentary, Immersed, KC Navarro, that's what it's called. Your mom is featured quite a bit.
Absolutely.
How important was she in this journey of yours?
I wouldn't be back if it wasn't for her.
Yeah.
I was very lucky. I got to stay with my mom. My mom took care of me. She kept me on my meds right. She made sure I didn't get too addictive to anything. She would wake up in the middle of the night to make sure I had my meds so I didn't have any pain.
She was momming you.
She was my mom.
That's great.
Yeah.
My
That's
mom
great.
was my mom.
Yeah.
And she's my best friend, my biggest fan. Sometimes my assistant, if I have to get my hair done, she's making the calls. 'Cause, I'm still not mature enough to do that on my own. I
Taking
can
the
admit
doctor's
that.
appointments.
But, without my mom, I definitely wouldn't be in the position I'm in, so I owe a lot to my mom.
She's got to be proud.
She is.
Is
very proud.
she the kind of mom that you, if you're going out together, just if you're someplace, Do you watch wrestling?
Yes.
Oh my God.
That's my son. That's my son, my little superstar.
Do you hate that?
It gets to be a lot sometimes, but you know what? She's just my mom. She's great.
That's what they do.
I'd be at lunch with my mom, and the server would walk up, and she's like, "Do you listen to the radio?" I'm like, "Mom, don't, please."
But there is a moment
don't.
when you appreciate it.
Absolutely.
There's a turn when there's years and years where you're like, stop it, it's embarrassing, and then there's a moment you're like, all right.
Yeah,
Well,
and it's cool because she will be in Philly to see me.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's great. Yeah.
So from you're a Jersey guy. I mean, when you're in Philly, when you're coming here, do old friends show up, or
you didn't have any friends? Remember the bullying thing?
Well,
yeah, it's usually the bullies.
You still had some friends,
except for the couple friends that I made along the way.
Yeah, there you go.
But like I said, like even when I was in school, I had one really close best friend. His name's Joel. He's still my best friend to this day. He never changed, never turned. So he'll definitely be there too.
So going back to the bullying thing, you had said in that doc, you took a moment and said, "Look, I probably as bad as it was, as horrible as it was." I probably wouldn't be in the position that I'm in without that happen. You actually take a moment to say thank you to those people, which I understand what you were doing there.
Sure.
But screw those people, man.
Absolutely.
I mean, you know what? And also you had said, once your star started to rise, people started reaching out to you and saying, whoa, way to go. And, that's an issue as it is. Did any of them, without you prompting it, apologize to you and say, man, I was a jerk and I know it now? You're probably, you're probably too young for that now. I don't think that happens to people until they realize maybe they have their own kids and they start to go, wow, I was a jerk.
That or when they think they can get money off you.
Yeah.
Those are the two deciding factors.
When I'm thinking about it, no, I don't think
No
so. I
kidding.
had one bully in school, like one bad one.
Yeah.
That actually turned out to be my friend at the end.
It became so. That's a classic story as well.
Yeah, because I stood up for myself. Like it was just one day. I think it was my freshman year of high school, and he was just going at me, and I flipped the table, and I was like, "Come on, buddy, let's throw down." And no one expected that because I was always quiet.
I was always, classic. Because they kept redistricting the area I was in. I would be in a new school without ever having moved, which sucked. And then I ended up, there was a guy who was always coming at me, and we finally threw down, and we became very good friends. But that's, it's nice that happens, but it'd be more nice if they didn't bully you from the get-go.
Exactly.
Do you foresee yourself down the road maybe speaking to groups of kids about stuff like this?
I would love to. I would love to. I sometimes do it now. I'll go to like my brother's school and do it sometimes. But that's definitely something I would love to do at some point.
You mentioned your younger brothers. They're from the video, they're way younger than you, right?
Yeah.
How old are your brothers?
One just turned 18. 18. Okay. The other one's turning 17.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it's 7 years, 8 years, something like that. 9 years younger. Okay.
Are they seduced by the industry?
Yeah.
Are they going to get into it?
No, man. One wants to go to the military. The other one wants to play football.
Well, that's cool. Both cool. I wanted to ask you. You obviously were working with your team that turned their back on you.
Yeah.
You're going into cities that way. You're going in as part of a collective. Now you go into cities, and you're the main event.
Yeah.
And did you have to? Did you brush up on persona? Were there any adjustments made, or you just rolled the dice and went with it?
Rolled the dice and went with it.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like me being me got me to where I'm at today.
Yeah.
I never changed anything about me.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's why. Listen, you're possessed of there's a maturity to Preston's point about what you went through that I think makes you who you are now.
Absolutely.
So and you got cupcakes and everything.
Yeah, and I'm proud of that.
All right, so there's a viewing party this Thursday for your match. Where is your match actually going to be?
So we already filmed it in Albany about 2.5 weeks ago.
So who wins? No.
We're gonna have to find out this Thursday. Either show up at Chicky and Pete's or watch it on AMC.
So you'll be at Chickies and Pete's.
I will be there
that's
to watch
great.
it with the fans. Now, will I have the belt? I don't know.
That's a question.
That's a question. You're gonna have to show up and find out.
Can't tip your hand.
Can't tell anybody. I don't know.
Cool, man.
No, this is really cool. So you're in town. So this is Thursday night at Chickies and Pete's, and then next week the event at Leah Core Center. And once again, who you facing at the Leah Core Center?
So right now, I know for sure it was announced on the Friday. I'll be wrestling Bear Bronson. Big man. He's a part of the system. Former tag team champion. It's going to be a big battle for me, but I think I'm ready for it.
Okay.
And when someone of your stature, a smaller size, takes on bigger people, or I would imagine at some point there's somebody who's way, way bigger than you.
Yeah.
What are you thinking going into that, man?
Go for the legs and be real fast. That's what I got to do.
Would they ever handicap the match by giving you a revolver?
That'd be great. I wish. I check under the rain, and it wasn't there.
They won't let it happen.
I was just thinking that I'm going to come at you like a spider monkey.
Yeah. Exactly. Literally.
But that, I think, watching a wrestler, I like seeing the guys who are just more creative. We talked about this in years of video gaming. If there were a couple roles to play, I'd end up playing the female a lot of times because they had the more, and not to say that's you, but to say it was more inventive. They had to be more creative with the way they take on, the boss in the boss battle. And so I think that equates to you.
Literally,
yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's cool. So.
Nice. All right, well, we appreciate you taking the time to come by here.
Of course.
Thursday, Chickens and Pete's, you can hang out with KC and watch his match as they'll be showing it. And then you can go live and take in the whole thing at the Leah Core Center next Thursday and Friday. You can get tickets through the Leah Core Center very easily, so make sure you do it. Very cool to meet you, man. Congratulations on your success.
Thank you so much.
And your ultimate rise and ass kicking here in Philadelphia.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you guys having us. Thank you so much.
Man. Let's hear it for KC Navarro. Oh, we're playing KC in the Sunshine Band. He's too young to know this band.
Yeah.
All right, we are going to take a quick break. We'll come back in just a moment. Make sure you stay put. Getting into meteorology at such a young age and being hired at 17.
Yeah.
Were you ever were you so fascinated with it and open about it that it ever led to like bullying because you were just as nerdy and geeky as you were?
Yeah, you know what? The only real bullying I ever had in my life was from my mother, unfortunately. So my grandmother raised me. She was diagnosed with Alzheimer's. I had to take care of her. And then when it got so bad, I took care of her for 4 years, all through I was like 10 when she was diagnosed. Whoa. So I ended up moving with my parents, and my mother has issues. She would call me the F word, like just everything under the sun.
For the gay slur?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So yeah, it was a little rough, but thank God I had the weather and the TV studio because I poured all of my energy into that. My classmates were great. Like I never had any issues. When I got into the industry professionally, I've had people that were kind of like eggheads that looked down on me because I didn't go the same route that they did.
Right.
And,
you were too busy buying your own ratings.
Yeah, your own equipment.
Were you temporarily put into foster care at some point?
No. So once my grandmother's condition got so bad, she sold our house, and then I moved in with my parents. And, I went from, we weren't rich, but my grandmother took care of me.
Okay.
And, when I moved to my parents, I learned living on welfare and food stamps. I slept on the floor of my mother's bedroom, and I got my first job pushing carts at ShopRite. And if I wasn't home for dinner, I didn't eat that night. So a lot of stuff was going on in those, formidable years when your brain is, really taking shape. And it was a lot of negativity, but I learned how to turn it into a force for fuel.
It generated drive clearly within you.
I told you guys he had an amazing story.
and you lost a sibling?
I did. My younger brother, Matt, it was the month before my wedding, and I had put him through rehab a few different times. And to this day, I feel like if I would have said yes the last time, maybe it would have been different. Like literally 5 days before I got a phone call that he passed, he was like, I really want to do it this time. I want to go down to Florida. I want to get out of this. Will you help me? And I said no because he relapsed every single time. So that weighs on me to this day.
It's a natural inclination to do that. You can't beat yourself up though. Sometimes because one of the menu options is, maybe saying no is the way it's going to work this time.
Right.
It could have been,
100%.
either or. Yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
The thing that gets you through is you had a passion early that you knew about. I think we all at one level or another knew what we wanted to do. To know that, or at least to take the time to find the thing that motivates you, can be so liberating to your life.
It can be.
Yeah.
Right.
If you're just tuning in, it's Nor'easter Nick who is joining us, and we were talking about the weather forecast this week. And I said I wanted to defend meteorologists. I never get mad at the weather person. I never have.
That's so nice of you. Thank you.
Well, I just understand that it's a complex science, and it's Mother Nature. Things are fluid, and you put it perfectly. As in, it's like water. It's fluid.
Yes.
It moves around. It's the entire world is a stew of all these atmospheric things that are taking place, and that you take the evidence that's given to you, which is constantly changing, and you make predictions at certain time frames, 24 hours from now, 48 hours from now, or a week from now, and so on. There are trends and all this stuff. It's literally like a brew, like you're, you know what I mean?
Sure.
That these things are swirling around, and so I know people who hands down will say, they'll hear a forecast and they'll say, well, these weather guessers, they don't know anything. I'm like, no, it's a constantly fluctuating a piece that's happening, and so when it gets closer and closer, obviously you can be more detailed in your predictions. But I just want to go on record that I understand you guys catch a lot of crap. And it's definitely not deserved.
Well, I will take you off of my naughty list.
Thank you.
I have a list of people. So.
Well, let me ask you this then, because I agree with that. But it also, the weather is always, they're milking it a lot of times.
100%.
And so what happens is when they were naming rainstorms.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah,
I hate that practice.
and they were really, and they were trying to, sometimes that creates panic.
Sure.
The over coverage. And so that'll be the deal. I don't as far as you're only still guessing, but I'm sure you, as you're really committed to this, sort of, demur from that as well.
So here's the difference between me and most people on TV. Like, this is my business. I have to be right.
Yeah.
And if I'm wrong, I admit it. That's important. You need transparency. And then I will explain, hey, this is what happened. X, Y, and Z came together or didn't come together, and that's what happened as a result. Unfortunately, corporate media, corporate news these days, it's all about let's get as many viewers as possible because they know that they're bleeding people to digital media.
Yeah.
I have no boss. I have no management telling me what to do or say. I'm not going to hype an inch of snow. And I think that is what people respect.
Right.
I'm always going to get the people that are naysayers, but I'm a very sarcastic person.
Right.
And I will make videos poking fun at them. I'm crazy. That's what I do.
All right, so I didn't know how to ask this question, so I was going to ask you it one way. I'm going to ask you it this way.
Okay.
So now it's two questions.
Yeah.
Name the movie from the meteorologist, Phil Connors.
Oh, Groundhog Day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sam Sparks.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, wow. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs.
I've never seen that.
Get out.
But Groundhog Day is literally my favorite movie.
Get out.
And I'm so disappointed because several years ago when I was at my station, I told my news director, I want to drive out to Punxsutawney and do the live coverage. And this is when I met Jim Cantori, by the way, who is in my book.
Yeah.
Big role model for me. I was disappointed because it's not what's in the movie.
No.
It's totally different.
No, it's
I was lied to my entire life.
Yeah, it's nothing like that.
All right, what movie is just like, oh my God, man, do they get this is an embarrassment.
Day After Tomorrow.
Okay,
Yeah.
I thought so.
I mean, so
that might be one of them.
Twisters, I went to see. I was skeptical, and then I'm watching. I'm like, all right, this is pretty solid stuff. Like the
Twister or Twisters?
Twisters.
Okay.
Like Twister got some stuff wrong,
Yeah.
but I think they made up for it in the new version.
Okay.
I loved that.
So the newer version is actually more, by your reckoning, scientifically accurate.
I think
All
so.
right.
Right.
What about this? What about the fire twister that happens over the refinery?
So that's a thing.
Yeah.
It has to do with temperature inversions and the flow of air. But and you look at wildfires all the time out in California.
It happens. Yeah.
It's really cool to see. And when I go to schools, people always ask me about that.
Yeah,
And like shark tornadoes. Come on, Sharknadoes.
Sharknado. Yeah.
Tornadoes. Well, you're an admitted weather geek. What was the weather like in Philadelphia on January 9th, 1793, when the first hot air balloon flew?
Oh, my goodness. It's funny. When we first connected doing the podcast.
So Nick was a guest on the first episode of the 52 Weeks of First podcast, and we talked about the first hot air balloon ride that was right here in Philadelphia.
It was great. I love that. I love what you're doing, and you're such a fun person. So you're like the perfect person to do that with. But now, you know what? Similar to today, but just a little bit colder because climate change wasn't a thing back then. Very unstable air masses to fly air balloons any time of in the winter.
But you had such great insight about like why was it in a prison? Well, it was a prison because in Pennsylvania and Philadelphia proper, there weren't many places without trees and buildings.
Right.
And obviously there were no trees around where people would be climbing out. And it's just you brought some really great insight to the podcast. So thank you.
I appreciate that.
Nick, you've got a book coming out?
It came out
Or is
yesterday.
it out? Okay. Do tell.
It's called Rain Date. It's literally about my life. There was a point when I was 14. I was so down and out because of the mental abuse and the overall situation. I remember thinking, and it's horrible to say, but I remember thinking that maybe life would be better without me.
Yeah.
And I walked to the train tracks, and this was like 2:00 in the morning. And I heard the train in the distance, and I heard a voice in my head. It was my grandmother who had passed away by that point, that don't do this. I taught you better. So it was at that moment I turned around and I decided to turn the negativity into a fuel for success. And the book is all about overcoming adversity. And society, I think, sometimes paints a picture for us. You come from XYZ background, so you must go down this certain path. And, I'm basically here to tell you that it's bull. The only thing that matters is if you believe in yourself and you surround yourself with good people that want to uplift you and push you to become the very best version of yourself. Everybody has the same opportunity as long as you believe in yourself. And, nobody has the right to come into your life and tell you what you can and cannot do. Your version of success is in your brain, and you're the only person that can tell you how high you're going to jump. So it's a book about overcoming adversity and becoming a success by following your heart and not listening to the naysayers around you. So it focuses on my early life, going through taking care of my grandmother, to raising myself, to becoming independent, to being gay, and just all kinds of stuff.
It's interesting that you have this terrifying fear of thunderstorms and weather and extreme weather, and you become a weatherman. When you're thinking about offing yourself, you go to the railroad, but you're a big fan of trains.
I am.
Yeah.
I am. So if I didn't get into meteorology, I would have been a
conductor,
a railroad engineer.
Oh, there you go.
So I grew up on the trains. I used to wear a conductor uniform on the Atlantic City line. I'd help out all the crews. I had such a great time. Like, you'd be thrown in jail today if you ever did that kind of stuff. But this was the early 2000s.
Steve, it's like Batman Begins. Why bats? Bats frighten me.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. It's interesting. You take it head on and use it. Use that as your power.
Yep. 100%.
Wow. What a success story, man. This is great. What do you see? How do you see this morphing, Norris or Nick?
So I'm in the process of helping build what's called the National Weather Network. And we're going to basically replicate what we're doing in New Jersey and the Philly area across the country. We've got 15 other guys that are involved in it, very well-known meteorologists in their markets, mostly from the South, because they don't have many O&Os down there. So people stay with O&Os, different than up in the north.
What is an O&O?
Owned and operated. So like your NBC, like not the affiliates. There's a bunch of affiliates in other parts of the country that aren't in major cities. So they're leaving, they're starting their own digital platforms, and now we are banding together. The goal is to have one of me in every single state and tie it together in this network. But aside from that, locally, it's just continuing to grow the platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
You could have that network connected by a railroad system.
Right.
Yes. There you go.
Our
Become
system
a real
here pales into comparison to like Europe. You can't get anywhere here.
Yeah.
And when we're done with this interview and we wrap up, can you show me how to tie a bow tie?
So, funny story. I haven't worn this in over a month since our last snow. And the superstition is I've been wearing this the snow tie bow tie. Yeah. I break it out when there's legitimate snow chances. So this morning, I'm standing in the mirror and I'm like,
WMMR.
Going back to Social D for a second, I saw them at the Electric Factory years and years ago, probably 1996. And Marilyn Russell was doing the stage introduction. And Social D's fans were known to be very hesitant to support radio because they were kind of an underground cool band and everything. And Marilyn gets up there, introduces herself, and kind of got a bad reaction from the crowd. But Mike, the singer, came up and was like, hey, No. She's cool.
Oh, that's
you don't
cool.
need to do that. Yeah, it was really.
That's a good gesture.
It was a cool moment. I thought.
Yeah.
So, but it was a great show. They were excellent.
Their acolytes are passionate.
Yeah, he's a sweet guy. I saw him at the Fillmore a year or two ago, and he's just telling stories, and he just recovered from a health scare. I don't recall what it is, but he's talking about becoming a grandfather and everything, and you're just like, he's just a sweet
Now
punk.
let's rock.
Yeah. Please play a
Totally.
song.
Yeah. Hey, before we get into the bizarre file, I wanted to share a couple things with you real quick from my weekend. One, we went to Rochelle and I and Caleb and a friend Emmeline went to the Gluten-Free Festival.
I wanted to go to that.
Yeah, at the Oaks Convention Center. We pull up, and dude, the line into this place, like I'm going, oh my God. I could not believe how packed it was.
How long did it take to get in?
Well, we had
Like
we had
3 hours.
tickets.
Yeah.
But no, I did. It moved pretty quickly, but I mean, it was stretched all the way down and around. It was wild.
How was it on the inside?
It was great.
I wanted to go, but I couldn't because the plans changed last minute.
It was packed, and there were samples all over the place. You could go and just try stuff, and everybody was just completely stocking up, and we did as well. And some of the lines for the samples were like really long. The really good ones were a little too long to go stand in, but we had a great time. It was cool, and it was one of those things where it's a group of people that are like, oh,
Our
something
people.
for me.
Yeah.
Finally,
Yeah.
something for me. And I met tons of Preston and Steve Show listeners and MMR fans. And, I kept asking, I'm like, are you the gluten-free one? They're like, nah, it's my girlfriend over here. No, it's my husband, So, but yeah, everybody was in a great mood and just happy that all this catered to this real problem that they have, finding food that they can actually eat without getting sick or being in pain.
Well,
So
also,
cool.
you look at things that other people are eating. I wish I had my version of that. And then you do. I mean, now we're in literally, the best of times for options.
Yeah.
It used to not be the case 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And now there's entire companies built on providing these dietary options, and they're doing well.
And I meant to give a plug to these guys that were really sweet, and I forgot to write down the name of the product, but they have all carrot-based stuff that they made, and they made this like carrot spread, and I bought some. It was really, really good. I'll try and figure out what that was. But my favorite product name there is a product called Hot Monkey Nuts.
Monkey nuts. What were they? Literally heated monkey nuts?
They were spicy. No, they were spicy peanuts.
Oh.
And they were too spicy for me, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's it, Marissa. You just found it. I tried. I'm like, yeah, I'll sample this. I tried in a cup. I'm walking on, and I'm like, oh, oh my God! It was like one of those things.
I have hot monkey nuts in my mouth. Excuse me?
But no, they were. We met a lot of great people, so that was really cool. All right, then this other thing I want to tell you about.
All right.
The next day, Rochelle and I were going to go out and do some grocery shopping, run some errands and stuff like that. Oh, hang on a second, you found it, Marissa. 24 carat spread. That was the name of the carrot.
I like that. I'd like to try that.
Big fans of the Preston and Steve Show and WMMR. So thanks to those guys. They had some really sweet things to say, but I bought some. It was really, really good. All right. So anyway, the next day, Rochelle and I were going to do some shopping, run some errands. And I noticed Rochelle was wearing this new green skirt that she got. I was like, oh, that's really cute. She goes, yeah, I bought you some shorts that are like the same color because I wear them for playing golf.
Right.
I was like, oh, yeah, I do. And I was like, should I wear them? She's like, yeah, sure. I'm like, okay. So I go and put them on. And she was also wearing a black top. So I put on a black shirt.
You did the thing
Dude.
a first-year boyfriend does.
We went out dressed, and I mean, so the green is not like a standard green.
Right.
It's almost like a mint, like a very specific green.
Okay, summer
and they were the
green.
same
Yeah.
color.
You should have started handing out samples at the supermarket.
So here's the deal. When we went out, I became hyper aware of everyone looking at us. And I immediately felt like an a-hole.
Well,
and we went to the grocery store. We went to like a few different places. And I'm watching people, and I even ran into a couple of they recognized me, And I go, oh, lucky you. You get to see us twinning today, don't you?
Do you
and
remember
they
those?
were like, before they recognized who I was, they were like, I was wondering why you guys were wearing the same clothes. And I'm like, I was kind of doing it to be cute with Rochelle, but I became hyper aware of it.
Yeah.
And it really kind of bothered me while we were
It's different out in the wild. It's,
It is.
It's like when you're first dating, you know, and you could be convinced of this when you were a teenager or you'd be a little bit younger, of wearing similar shirts. I'm with her. You know, and those things. And it's like, oh, I get to wear a uniform.
I literally saw people kind of like whispering and pointing and almost laughing at us. And I'm like, oh, this
We're laughing
there
with
you
you.
go.
probably not
They
a
were
good
laughing
idea.
with you at you.
Yeah. So
Did you guys take a picture?
no.
Oh, you should.
I know. I meant to.
You have to do it again.
I know. We'll have to do it again. But nonetheless, if you saw two people in green and black walking around
Oh my God.
on Sunday, that was me and Shell.
I wear Claire's clothing all the time.
Do you?
Yeah.
The panties
and go
and-
shopping.
yeah,
Yeah.
everything.
Dude, my cousin.
I'm Stephanie.
My cousin put his wife's jeans on, not knowing that they were hers. Yeah, straight up
Really?
was yeah.
Wow.
I think he was just happy that he had lost weight and he could fit into these jeans. But he had been wearing them for a couple of hours, and then finally his wife was like, "Why are you wearing my jeans?"
Wasn't there there's an Office episode where he buys like
Does he buy women's
yeah
jeans?
or a suit or something and like Anne Klein too or something and he's wearing it.
I put on a shirt thinking it was mine, and it ended up being Rochelle's.
I mean,
and I'm
they-
like, I don't remember the neck being this way. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
it's like,
Slow cut.
I'm showing a lot of clavicle here right now.
Well, like I couldn't. Yeah, Claire would never confuse her shirts because she's 100 pounds. But it's it can happen.
Yeah.
Stuff looks similar.
Yeah, most definitely. So anyhow, just thought you guys would get a kick out of that.
did.
All right, I do have Bizarre File Story.
WMMR presents Preston and Steve's Bizarre File.
Brought to you by Horizon Cooling. They have 24/7 emergency AC service available, even on nights or weekends. Plus, you can get a new system for as little as $105 a month, plus an up to 12-year warranty. Book your visit today at horizonservices.com. Here's a story out of Scotland. A manager at Historic Environment Scotland, HES, who was at the center of a row, as they say, after they allegedly twerked in front of Hollywood actor Martin Compston, has been fired, according to reports.
All right, was it a row or a Donnybrook?
An investigation into the senior leader's behavior was launched by the heritage body when the line of duty star was left feeling uncomfortable following the incident at a corporate event.
Twerking's making me feel uncomfortable.
It was at Edinburgh Castle in 2023. Rod Stewart's wife, Penny Lancaster, was also reportedly left upset after the incident occurred at a work event.
I don't have to be putting up with this popping and locking of your booty.
Witnesses reportedly claimed a senior HES manager became drunk and sat on a guest's knee before standing up and twerking in front of Compston.
It's not for dancing, that part's for pooping.
It was also claimed the senior figure also posed for a picture with Lancaster and referred to them both as, quote, two dumb blondes together.
Oh, wow.
In October, it was reported that a complaint against the HES boss is said to have been upheld, but it was not known then what sanction was taken. It has been reported that a separate, unrelated complaint was made against the same manager the following month. Multiple sources said that the manager was dismissed this month. There was reportedly some sympathy among some at the heritage body for the manager. The sources said that some believed the investigation into their behavior was a witch hunt.
We're a button-down group here, no twerking.
Yep, so they weren't putting up with the twerking. Some people felt uncomfortable about that. In Florida, DeLand Fire Rescue Crews rescued a man who became unresponsive while working in a tree.
Oh, boy.
The man was hanging upside down in an unstable homemade harness. A homemade harness. Firefighters used an aerial ladder to reach him and secure him with a rope harness before the homemade equipment could fail. The statement, in the statement, sir, can you hear me, sir? He's good to go. In a statement, the fire department said, thanks to the professionalism, teamwork, and quick decision-making of the DeLand Fire Rescue, the incident concluded with a safe outcome. After being safely lowered from the tree, the man was evaluated by EMS and transported to the hospital by a family member. But he was hanging upside down from the tree, and I guess he was passed out. So why is
his phone?
It's me. I don't know why it's talking to me. It says it's the Charleston Fire Department. Okay.
Oh, they're listeners.
I triggered something there. All right. In Colorado, fire officials are blaming a squirrel for starting a brush fire that threatened several homes in Douglas County.
Little bastards.
Firefighters responded to a vegetation fire on Wednesday. The agency said multiple homes were evacuated. They upgraded the response to a second alarm brush fire. The 2-acre fire was declared under control about an hour after it started.
And Twiggy, the water skiing squirrel.
They needed him. By 9 p.m., all crews had cleared the scene. None of the homes were damaged. Investigators determined the cause of the fire was a squirrel that came into contact with a power line.
You know what? I just made the connection.
And
Twiggy.
And Twiggy.
Twigs.
Yep.
Water ski. It all comes together now.
And
Took me a while.
Caught on fire, started it. All right, so let's see. What are we going to do here? 2 brave teenage girls turned the tables on a predator who allegedly tried to drag them into the woods and rape them at a Connecticut state park, beating him with rocks.
Excellent.
And leaving him battered and bandaged in his mugshot. Darius Moreno, 23 years old, allegedly threatened the 2 girls with a knife and attempted to sexually assault them. Moreno allegedly approached the girls with a knife, told them that he was going to blank them and rob them. He then tried to drag the teens into the woods by their hair and throw one of them to the ground before trying to suffocate her by pressing her head into the dirt. This guy's crazy. Moreno then tried to place the other girl in a chokehold, and despite their fear, the girls fought back. One of the teens managed to wriggle free and then grabbed a huge rock and hurled it at him. And he wouldn't let go of the friend, though, and that girl then started pelting him with rocks, eventually allowing both of them to escape and run to safety. Wow.
Good for them.
Moreno, who is from out of state and was living in his car, allegedly told investigators that he was sorry, admitted to liking aggressive porn, and disturbingly said the assault was a sexual fantasy for him. He was cuffed on a slew. Yeah. Oh, you didn't. We didn't understand.
We didn't have time to hear the explanation, but now.
Wow. So obviously he's. They're going to take care of him.
It's just because I watch aggressive porn.
All right, and then we'll do one more story and we'll wrap up. Here is one in our area. Emergency crews rescued a man who was trapped under a manhole cover in northeast Philly this past Wednesday. First responders arrived at the scene near Bustleton and Tustin Avenue. The recovery of the man took over a half an hour as Philadelphia Fire Department crews were unable to open the manhole cover.
Oh, boy.
And the Philadelphia Water Department actually had to be called so they could come and open it up. The advisory council said the man who has not been identified entered a few blocks away and was unable to find his way out. It's unclear how he made his way underground or how long he remained there and his motivation for doing so. So I guess you get under there and you can't see anything. Everywhere! And you've got crap everywhere. All right, and there you go. That is what we have in the bizarre file for you this morning. There was a video of him being pulled out of that thing, so he's lucky he made it out. All right, friend. We have a test for you. We're going to see if you've been paying attention. We have a lesson question that we're going to be giving away in just a little bit, and the prize has to do with Jackie Bam Bam.
Yay!
So we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll get the trash, and we'll get the music news as well. So stay with us. We'll be back in just a moment.
I forgot how to tie this. And I did it like 3 different ties, but it's literally like tying your shoes. That's it. That's really it.
Oh, okay.
But I'll help you.
Listen, anytime just a regular tie. I wear them so infrequently. I'm on YouTube. I'm on YouTube.
Oh my God. I love that. I pre-tie my tie. So I have like 300
Good
of them.
call.
I
Really?
tie them once,
Yep.
get that really good Windsor
keep it
knot,
hanging.
and then I set it.
And you just hang it up?
Ron Popeil, set it and forget it.
I love that. Wow.
Quick summation on it for the Sunday
Yes,
again.
for this weekend.
So I think it is a go.
Yeah.
We'll have our first call snow map out tomorrow. I think it's a baseline of 6 inches. Could get much more than that, but I want to set your expectations of at least getting a plowable 6 inches of snow. It starts late Saturday night. It ramps up through the day on Sunday. There could be a transition over to a sleet and freezing rain, mostly east of the city. That would come midday. That'll cut down on the totals a little bit, but it's going to be a fluffy snow to begin with, maybe a little bit wetter to end, and it wraps up and is out of here on Monday. Snow breeds snow. That means that the pattern going forward as La Nina fades is going to be very active. I don't think this is the last one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So an active snow season.
Yes.
Will we be seeing snow later the week following?
It's possible. You get in these patterns where you know how sometimes it rains every weekend,
Yeah.
and you're like, again. Well, it's very similar.
If
with
we
winter
get back to
storms.
the Sunday night snowstorm, I'm going to freak the F out.
I know, right?
Wow.
So excited.
So Nor'easter Nick, actually Nick Pittman is his
Yes.
name. If people want to find you, and they're spelling out Nor'easter Nick, do they have to put the the apostrophe in the Nor?
It'll all come up if you just type in NOREASTERNICK. And I'm literally everywhere. Every platform you can think of.
Instagram, TikTok, Facebook.
Yes.
Do you have any YouTube stuff?
I have a YouTube. We have a 24/7 channel that runs on YouTube. We have our website, norcast.tv. And we're fun, We're hyper local and just have a good time. And it's all about fact-based forecasts. I love snow, but I will never let my bias slip into the forecast because I think that's important.
Okay. All right. Do you mind if we reach out to you from time to time?
No, please do.
Excellent.
I'd love to.
Excellent. All right, Nor'easter Nick, guys.
Thanks so much for having me.
Wow, we have been schooled and
weather.
taught a lot of good stuff this morning. Our in-studio guest is a stunningly beautiful badass who is promoting the film Mercy, which is going to be in theaters tomorrow. And I mean that in every sense of the word, badass. She's held 6 titles in professional boxing and 2 world championship titles in 2 different weight classes,
Yeah,
is what
which
I'm
is
trying to
amazing.
say. And then segued into acting. It has been very successful there. The True Detective series was absolutely amazing. And she lives in South Philly. This is awesome. Please welcome Kaylee Reese.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Great to have you. You first came on my radar in True Detective. And which Casey and I here watched it pretty much the same time together. And we both came in and were like, have you seen this badass gal on this? And so then we did a dive into, who you were and what's your story. And it's so impressive what you've done with your life so far. And you're probably just getting started as far as I can tell.
Yeah, this was, originally starting with boxing and kind of getting into acting kind of by accident. A happy accident, and True Detective was my 3rd job. First TV show, third job.
With Jodie Foster.
Jodie Foster.
And I failed to mention at the top, nominated for a Primetime Emmy, Golden Globe, Critics' Choice Award as well, and a few others on top of that. So you came out swinging.
I did. I mean, I can't do any. I don't know any other way.
Well, we want to talk about Mercy, obviously, which is what you're promoting, which is now you've gone from Jodie Foster to Rebecca Ferguson and Chris Pratt, and a great cast in this. So, I mean, it seems to me that you said boxing found you, and it seems to me that boxing and your training for it and how you have learned to adapt and roll with the changes has informed everything you've done from there on in. Could any of this have happened without boxing in your life?
Absolutely not. I mean, I give everything to boxing. Boxing found me at a point of my, adolescence when I really needed something different. Coming from a sport background, coming from a very artistic, musically inclined family, but I played team sports, but there was a lot of things that were going on that boxing kind of saved me from. It was the first time I had something that I was only pay attention to that one thing. If I was jump roping, I was jump roping. I wasn't thinking about all the other things that was going on in my life at the time. And it's given me a lot of opportunities. I've traveled the world. It's taken a lot from me. I've missed weddings, funerals, graduations, events, holidays, birthdays, all the above. But
that's how it works, though.
It's sacrifice.
Yeah.
And I got found because I boxed and what I boxed for and what I represent. That's how I got found with acting. So I wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for boxing.
And you had a guy who's kind of your customato who kind of said to you while you were boxing, you're going to be an actor.
Yes, that was my...
out of the blue.
Out of the blue. I mean, he's known me since I was, 13, 14 years old. Dr. Roland Estrada back in East Providence, Big Six Boxing Academy. I call him Pop. Everybody calls him Pop.
Yeah.
But he's, this is gonna be means to an end, kid. It means to an end, kid. You're gonna be a model. You're gonna be an actor. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And he's like basking in all of this now. He's like, I told you. I'm like, yeah, you did.
Is he demanding a percentage now at this point, or is
no, he's kind. He just, as long as I, keep him posted. I go by the gym every time I'm in Rhode Island, and just, I talk to him all the time. He's so proud. He calls me randomly when he's with a patient. He's an eye doctor, and he's like, I'm with so-and-so. I just want them to say hi to you. I was talking about you. So as long as I pick up the phone, he's fine.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
As you dig deeper into information about you, Kaylee, there's some really interesting things about your family, too. So your dad, a musician, played keyboards with Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch.
Yes, he was part of the Funky Bunch.
Wow.
Yes.
That's impressive. So then is Mark Wahlberg a part of your life at all? Have you ever met him or know him?
He used to come to our house to rehearse the whole Funky Bunch. He used to come
The
to
whole
the house.
friggin' Funky Bunch.
The whole Funky Bunch. They used to be like, I have two older brothers and like 8 years older than me. So they were like teenagers when they were coming over. So that was their in for all the girls. And they used to be outside with the signs. But he's had the same manager since my father's known him. So I still actually speak to him. I haven't done any projects with him yet. But I do.
So he knows that now acting is in. Obviously, you've gotten the acclaim, and obviously he is a mover and shaker and a producer.
Yep.
There's nothing as of yet, but we can assume that it might happen down the road.
I feel like it's inevitable. It has to. Like the Funky Bunch got to reunite via me.
Funky Bunch the movie.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, let's talk about Mercy because it stars Chris Pratt and Rebecca Ferguson, who's like a total crush of mine. I love her to death. But the concept of this looks pretty wild. It looks like the world is delved even deeper into lawlessness. And Chris Pratt's character tries to reel it in with this really radical idea of justice, right?
Correct.
Okay, can you explain a little bit about that?
Sure. It's called Mercy. So this concept is this Mercy Court is run by an AI judge, played by Rebecca Ferguson. And if you are caught and accused of a capital crime, then this AI, you go into this Mercy Court and you have 90 minutes to prove you're innocent. So you are guilty until proven innocent. And the thing is, you have the access of everything that was, to prove you guilty. You have access to all this information, to this municipal cloud that everybody has to register to. And if you can't prove your innocence, you can't get your innocent percentage below a certain percentage, then you're executed.
So no lawyer, nobody represents you.
No.
You have to
represent
present your case, and if you can't do it, they kill you right
And you
there on the
have
spot.
all the information, all CCTVs, phones, records, everything that you could prove your innocence if you are innocent.
As with true science fiction and effective science fiction and good speculative fiction, this is right on the cusp.
WMMR, Immigrant Song. Quick, what movie do you think about when you hear that?
Ragnarok.
Yep, totally.
Yeah, gotta be.
In the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, absolutely. And then later on.
And we were just talking about the new trailer for Avengers Doomsday and how awesome it looks and how great it is to have Thor back to Thor and not the goofball that it became in that third movie.
I was fine with Ragnarok because I understood the bridge that needed to occur. But the Love and Thunder, a disaster.
Yeah, but this if you have not seen the new trailer and you're not, and we have been a bit burned out by Marvel. It got a little bit muddled.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about this now. I think this could bring me all the way back in.
You have the Russo brothers directing. You have, and again, they know their mission is to get back the audience, and they've fumbled. They made bad mistakes. But am I with you? I'm like, I feel the twitching.
Yeah,
it's like using an ED, and feel the twitch.
Feel the twitch.
Exactly.
That should be.
Let the boy watch.
Yeah. That should be their ad slogan.
Let the boy watch.
All right, we got a lesson question, and what am I doing here?
Oh, I don't know.
Do you have one?
I heard you say something.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I like this, Marissa. I'm going off the board. Ryan writes down our lesson questions, and Marissa came up with this one, and we're going to ask it of you, and if you answer it correctly, we'll give you tickets to our next Bam Bam Jam.
Bam Bam Jam.
With Cinderella's Tom Kiefer Band, which is coming up on Thursday, the 30th at the Keswick Theater. And it will be hosted by Jackie Bam Bam. So here's the question. What quote will be engraved on Steve's statue? We said this earlier this morning. I don't remember what time it was, but it was fairly early. 610-660-9333. If you heard, what quote will be engraved? God, I can barely read your handwriting, Marissa.
It was chicken scratch.
Will be engraved on Steve's statue. 610-660-9333. Call if you know.
The trash business is a gold mine.
93.3 WMMR with Preston and Steve's Hollywood Trash.
All right, we will get these stories before we get your answer. Steve, what's going on this morning?
Well, Preston, Jessica Alba and boyfriend Danny Ramirez, seen leaving a Raising Cane's party in New York on Saturday night. The evening gave the less successful Ramirez the chance to flex by picking up the tab on their chicken fingers.
Oh, my God.
So wonderful. A shirtless and disheveled Justin Bieber performed at Fanatics Fest on Saturday wearing a pair of loose white checkered shorts halfway down over another pair of loose gray checkered shorts. Bieber took the opportunity to announce his upcoming tour will be sponsored by heroin. And finally, Universal Studios Hollywood denying reports that the new Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift Coaster has been delayed because of neighborhood noise complaints. The ride reportedly recreates the authentic terror of realizing you made 10 more Fast and Furious movies than you should have. That's your Hollywood Trash.
All right, we will see if you know the answer is what quote will be engraved on Steve's statue one day. And we have Tracy who thinks she knows the answer. Hi, Tracy. Good morning.
Gadzooks.
Gadzooks to you, Tracy. All right, what's going to be engraved on Steve's statue?
He doesn't cry, he poops.
Yes, I don't cry, I poop. Yes. That is correct, Tracy. Hang on a second. And we have a rendering of Steve's statue with the quote, Steve Morrison, I don't cry, I poop.
Words to live with.
All right, Tracy, hang on, and we are going to give you tickets to see the next Bam Bam Jam with Cinderella's Tom Kiefer and the Tom Kiefer Band Thursday, July 30th at the Keswick Theater, hosted by Jackie Bam Bam. Tickets are on sale now via KeswickTheater.com.
Now, Preston and Steve's Music News on 93.3 WMMR.
All right, I got stuff to share with you, and we'll start with Mike D. Beastie Boys. His solo project called Mike D 5D is featuring his sons Skylar and Davis Diamond and has expanded its 2026 tour with new dates across the U.S., Canada, the UK, and Europe, adding stops in cities including Los Angeles, Vancouver, Chicago, and London. In all, he's added 10 new shows, each in North America and Europe. A huge jump from the initial 5-show run that was announced last month. The band is also gearing up for the release of its debut album called Thank You, and that will be out on August 28th.
We got a Philly date.
Oh, we do?
October 19th, he's playing a Union Transfer.
Okay, that's good. I didn't see the date, so that's great. Thank you, Marissa.
Would you go see him, Marissa?
Absolutely. In fact, I saw him at Firefly Festival a few years ago, and it was a total surprise.
Yep.
When you're looking at the list of all of those people playing, and you see Mike D, you don't think of that Mike D.
Right.
And it was great. It was DJ set. He was mixing all sorts of music, and now that he's playing with his kids and all, it's great.
Cool.
So tickets go on sale to the general public Friday at 10 a.m. Liam Gallagher says that Oasis fans should not hold their breath for a new album, but they may get more concerts. Responding to a fan online who begged for new music, the singer said that he's not prepared for the criticism if a record does not sell 100 million copies in the first hour and cure the nation's ailments, adding that the band should just play some gigs and be happy. It would have been Oasis' first album of new material since 2008. Asked what the new music might sound like, Liam said that he would want it to still sound like Oasis rather than a band chasing trends.
It's going to sound kind of like this, like that.
And he also appeared to confirm more shows next year, telling a critic of Wonderwall that they would be hearing it plenty in
Kiss my wonder balls.
2026.
I can see what they're saying though. At this point, they're not. I don't think they respond well to criticism. Everyone is rediscovering the joy of seeing them in concert. This incredibly successful tour, and they can make. Why lock themselves up when they can? There's all that money for the taking right now.
And it's a bit risky as a band gets on in its life cycle, and the latter part, if you haven't been consistently releasing music throughout the years, like I said, 2008 was the last time, nearly 20 years ago, the last one came out. If you come out with one and it doesn't meet your expectations, it can be extremely disappointing.
Yeah, I would think there'd be more possibility for agitation in the studio.
Oh, between those two?
Right?
Liam and Noel? Most definitely. And then one last story, Parrot Heads. Get ready for some new music. Coral Reefer band legend Mac McAnally. Thank you. Mac McAnally.
Rack ball.
Oh, my God. Rack Mac McAnally.
Rack ball.
And then he falls over the hedges.
Mac McAnally. Mac McAnally says a
rack ball.
Ow. I hurt myself. All right. Anyhow, it says a collection of mostly unheard Jimmy Buffett music will soon see the light of day. McAnally tells Bill that he and fellow Coral Reefer Michael Utley have put the finishing touches on a posthumous album that McAnally says is, for the most part, quote, things that have never been out. Or if they were released, they were cut for a one-off purpose. He said, like a TV episode or a movie. The oldest of these tracks, he said, is like 2003, and the newest is maybe 4 years ago or so. None of those things have ever been on a Jimmy Buffett album, he said, and we are pretty excited. The album has no title or release date yet, but McAnally says, we're done with the music. It's really good. Rack it up.
That's how old is that clip? 22 years?
Long time.
Longer? Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yep.
All right. That is it in music news. That means we have one final break to take, which we are doing as we speak. When we come back, we'll finally get that letter for the Word of the Week prize. Really good one. We'll tell you about it if you haven't heard the information as of yet. Matt Cord will get that to us, so stay put. We'll be right back.
Right now. Because, and I know Timur is I can't pronounce his last name.
Bakhmabatov, yeah.
Right, but he is, he's very visual.
Mm-hmm.
He's done stuff like this. And the incorporation of screens everywhere and cameras everywhere. I mean, even in the trailer, you see, this isn't a leap of logic or anything. This kind of surveillance exists now.
Absolutely.
Where you're getting scanned 9 million different ways when you walk outside. And he's got Chris Pratt he's been accused of killing his wife. So there's an element of The Fugitive and a little bit of Minority. Oh, some solid movies here.
Yeah.
But that 90 minutes, what I didn't realize is that if you can't prove your innocence, you're executed.
You're executed.
That's the gamble. Wow.
And what character do you play?
I play Detective Jack Diallo. I am Chris Pratt's partner.
Okay.
So I'm the only other one that's basically, he calls me he had in his 90 minutes to try to work the case and try to help him out. I'm the boots on the ground. I'm literally in the air. There's a thing called a quadcopter that I'm still trying to get from Amazon that I really want.
They look cool.
It's really cool. So I play his badass partner, Jack Diallo, and I'm trying to help him out in his 90 minutes.
Was he easy to get along with?
Absolutely.
I believe it.
He's one of those people that you hope he's like, you think he's like in person. And when you meet him, you're like, oh, man, he was really cool to work with.
So he's Star-Lord. He's
He's Star-Lord in the flesh. And even Rebecca Ferguson, we didn't have much work none of us really had work in the same space, especially me and Chris was mostly over like the phone and everything.
Yeah.
But she's hilarious.
Is she not so cool? We've had her here before, and I was a little intimidated before she came in because she's played some serious, intense roles. And she was loose and fun and just chill, man.
Really down to earth.
Yeah,
she also does, if you've seen online, there's a meme of her biting her upper lip that has become legendary. But so with these people, you had a good experience with Jodie Foster as well.
I did.
But I was reading an interview with her. You're talking about being a realist and knowing that, people, there's stories about people, Well, let me ask you, when Jodie Foster walks in the room and you're a young, this is one of your earliest jobs, do you get a little weak in the knees? Does your boxing help you to pull it together? How do you process one of the great actresses as a co-star of yours now?
And when she walked in the room, I've been a fan of Jodie since I was a kid. You know, Silence of the Lambs. I loved Panic Room. All of his Contact was my movie. So when I found out that I got the role, I was excited but terrified because they're like, Jodie Foster's going to sound. I'm like, what? I got nauseous. I'm like, oh my God, how do I even pull this off? But she walked in the room. I had 30 seconds. Like, oh my God. And, but you know, in boxing you have to play it cool. So I was like, hey, nice to meet you. Put my hand out. And she's so tiny, but she has this big presence about her. And she's so down to earth. She's kind. She's funny as well. So she was so interested in my process too. So I did have a moment, but then I held it together.
You pulled it back.
All right. I loved your season of True Detective. It was so great. It just kept me coming back for more. But as a newer actor, there's pretty intense sex scene in that that you had to participate in.
There is.
Was that? I mean, that's all new to you. How uncomfortable, strange at first? I mean, you did a great job at it, but was it a lot of work to be able to pull that off?
Those scenes are nothing more than a choreographed dance. Honestly, there's nothing sexy about a sex scene. It's all, there's a million people in the room. There's specific points you have to hit. There was part of the storytelling is if it makes sense for the story, and it did for that character, I learned a lot. And I learned the choreograph, I learned the technicals part of it, and I had a very, it was a very comfortable scene as far as everybody being very supportive, including my scene partner, but there's nothing romantic about it. It's just a choreographed dance. It was like a real quick, and you get the job done, you move on kind of thing.
But I guess when you walk in at first, if you're like, oh God, this is going to be weird, but a couple minutes into it, it's work, right?
It's just all work.
Yeah.
There's nothing. There's nothing touching. There's not. There's a lot of space between things. So there wasn't. It was very. And being somebody who just started, being someone who's married, being all those boxes checked. I made sure that I understood everything and that it was going to be comfortable. Because if I wasn't comfortable with it, then I couldn't perform. So it's like I said, it's just a choreographed dance, and we got through it and we moved the hell on. And I was like, thank God that day's over. I don't want to do this ever again.
Did you watch the series?
I did watch the series. I got to see before it came out, like the final cuts. I actually sat there. I watched it. I watched the first 3 episodes and then the last 3 during editing in 2 days, and it was just I was blown away by the whole. I couldn't wait to see everybody else's work. We had an amazing cast, so I was really excited to see it. I read it, then seeing it. It especially being the subject it was around from the indigenous perspective. I was really proud of it. As long as the community that I'm representing, because although I'm indigenous, I'm not from Alaska. I'm not Dominican. I'm not Inuit. I'm not Nupiaq. I am what I am. But we have the support of the entire community, so I was really excited to see it.
That's great. And being in Alaska, one of the benefits had to be the Northern Lights.
Well, we shot in Iceland.
Oh, you did? You get Northern Lights there, too.
We get it big time. It was a blessing. We had so many people from Alaska and Greenland, some indigenous people that came over to kind of create this whole...
Is that right? Wow.
It was amazing. And then we actually...
I guess snow looks like snow wherever you
Snow is snow, man. Snow is snow. But we did go to Alaska in the summertime. Me, Jodie, and my husband went to Alaska. They're like besties. It's actually hilarious.
That's adorable.
Yeah, we went to Alaska for about a week just to kind of see these different towns that inspired this fake town innocent.
It's Alaska's a wild. I mean, obviously, in every sense of the word, it's like one of those places. One of the big first vacations my wife and I took was to Alaska, and it is the ultimate contrast. You're seeing this beautiful terrain that were you out where you're looking, you'd be dead in a little bit of time. But, it's brutal and sublime at the same time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, which is so cool.
You mentioned being indigenous, and I apologize if I mispronounce this. Seekonk Wampanoag tribe?
Almost. Seekonk and Wampanoag.
Seekonk and Wampanoag.
Wampanoag, yeah.
Wow. With that community, with your high-profile nature now and rising up through boxing and now through acting, are you one of the more high-profile people to represent that indigenous group?
Absolutely, and it's very interesting because we won't go there, but our history doesn't teach us all the history. So what you learn about Native American history is not my history. I come from First Contact tribes. I come from New England, so it's an interesting thing when even in your own indigenous community where they question you because I'm mixed. I'm Cape Verdean. I'm Black. I have so many things, but I'm also indigenous, and I'm really proud of the tribe and the area I'm from. But I get questioned quite a lot.
That's so bizarre. So you lose a little bit of cred in some of the community because of you have mixed blood, so to speak.
Mixed
right?
blood, and also, you get down to the federal recognition and state recognition and all that, and it's very a colonial type of way to think about. But where we come from, it's like who your people. That's how we identify.
Yeah.
But in today's age, we're so caught up with status and how much, and the blood quantum and all this other stuff. So it's an interesting thing. But all I ever do is just try to bring awareness to our people, no matter who's. My slogan, or quote unquote slogan, I kind of went with boxing is fight for all nations. I do exactly in that ring what we've done for centuries. So
I think there've been a handful of people who have been indigenous, who've gone on to acting. Graham Greene,
Yep.
right? Yeah, and in Josie Wales, another one, but they were few and far between.
Mhm.
So do you feel a little bit of the weight of that on you, or is it something that you?
It's pride.
It's pride,
I
yeah.
mean, as of right now, to Lily Gladstone, she's the first
That's
indigenous
right,
person
yes,
to win a Golden Globe. She's I would like to say actor friend of mine, and just another known woman that's intelligent, very, very talented. So I feel like I'm amongst many, because unfortunately there are so many artists out there, so many actors that we don't know much of. But I feel like we're in a time where you're going to start seeing a lot more, especially after Reservation Dogs, with such a great series, and there's so many indigenous actors, creators, directors, writers, everything. So I think swinging the door open and holding it open for all these artists to come through.
Did you watch the Lowdown or see anything about the Lowdown?
I started the
Okay.
Lowdown. I love Starlin. Starlin's a friend of mine, and he got a second season coming, so I didn't finish it, but it's good.
So it's funny you say, how do you phrase it? Which people are you? What people are you?
I'm from the Wampanoag. So
No, is that how you identify? When you see somebody else,
Who are your people?
Who are
Oh,
your people?
who
Who
are
are
your
your people?
people?
Okay.
Who are your people?
So we have something similar here. It's what's your parish?
I like that.
So now that you live in the Philadelphia area, it's what's your parish?
All right, yeah, I got it.
It's what's your parish, who's your people, who's your daddy. Those are the three.
Okay. All right. I like that. I'm gonna remember that.
I wanted to ask, because of obviously you had you did actually study criminology for a little bit. Was that something that you? And so obviously that fit into the True Detective. With Mercy, is there a lot of tech talk that you're responsible for, or because it's high tech stuff?
Yeah.
Is that something that can be, because we're big fans of the show The Pit, and that's all medical stuff.
That was nice to hear.
It's a good song.
Pearl Jam and Wreckage, I agree. Preston and Steve Show, MMR. It's 10:33, and we are at the end of our show for today, my friend. Weather-wise, expect some scattered thunderstorms, probably starting, lunchtime. And it's going to be off and on, and they'll get a little bit more intense. Some isolated storms, maybe 5 p.m., 6 p.m., depending on where you are. And it's going to pave the way for, from what I understand, a better day tomorrow. Maybe a passing shower. But tomorrow's high of about 86 degrees, and then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, the report I'm glancing at right now looks like we're moving into a good weekend.
That'd be sensational.
Yeah, absolutely. So today was a good time. Happy to be back to work, and we want to thank KC Navarro.
Yeah.
He's a really nice guy.
He was.
He wrestles for TNA Wrestling. Impact Live is going to be next Thursday and Friday at the Leah Core Center. And actually, he's got a match that he had already participated in, but they're having a showing of it at Cheeky's and Pete's on Thursday evening, and he will be there if you want to stop by.
Right, the winner is unknown. You'll find out that night, and he says either you'll have the belt or he won't.
Yeah, you can get pictures, hang out, talk to him, stuff like that. But it was really cool to have him by here this morning, so that was nice. Matt Cord is here.
Good morning, everybody.
How you doing, man?
Good.
Excellent.
Good to see you.
Did you have a good weekend?
You know, I did, and we saw a movie on Friday night, a documentary about the Flyers, a Cold War in Philly.
Yeah.
Don't know it.
And you guys get mentioned in the closing credits.
Shut up.
Yes.
How? Why?
Because they use your "Let's Go Flyers." You have that chant? Yeah. So the director, he's a local guy, Joe Amani, I think he's Amodi.
Okay.
And he said he couldn't get a "Let's Go Flyers" chant, and he got one from you guys.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Oh, we made this at the
Camp Out?
Camp Out for Hunger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. So we got a little plug.
And it's a great movie. It's all about the Broad Street Bullies, and they played Russia, the Soviet Red Army, and they beat them in 1976.
Yeah.
And there's actualities, Joe Watson and Dave Schultz. They got Bernie, Ed Van Imp. You guys would love the movie.
Oh, it sounds great. I heard rumors of it.
They quit that game, didn't they?
They quit. They walked off in the first period because the Flyers were just beating the crap out of them. Every time they got near the puck, they leveled them. And then they were leaving, and Ed Snyder's like, well, you're not getting paid. And so they went back on the ice. But it's legendary. It's really cool. And the director's a great guy. And he told me before the movie, he's like, I love MMR.
Yeah.
And I grew up on MMR. He's a Hollywood guy. And he goes, tell him I used their.
That's great.
Let's go Flyers.
Love to hear that.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll be up for Oscar consideration.
Never know. It could. Stranger things have happened, most definitely.
But anyway, it was fun.
All right, cool. Let's get the letter, brother.
Yeah.
Preston and Steve on 93.3 WMMR.
Now, the Daily Letter.
The Preston and Steve Show is brought to you today by the letter
F, as in fastball.
Fastball. The way.
The way.
One hit wonder.
One hit wonder.
All right, we're going to give away on Friday 4-pack of lower level seats. It's MMR Rocks, Foo Fighters, and Queens of the Stone Age. It's the Take Cover Tour. Thursday, August 13th at Lincoln Financial Field. Tickets are on sale now via Ticketmaster. So you want them? You got to listen to us the rest of the week. I don't think that's too much to ask. What's happening today?
That'd be a good song for you in the morning, Casey.
Yeah.
They made up their minds and they started trying.
Yeah, I could do that. All right, I'll put it on my
great.
list. I always forget what I'm going to sing every morning.
No, I loved your Creed the other day. That was really good. So Chicago and Styx are in town tonight.
Oh.
So we're going to play a block of both.
That's a cool show.
It's like I'm at MGK again. Yeah. And also we got a block of The Cure. And Lame Ass Trivia, we're giving out tickets for Muse, which is next Wednesday in Camden. And Pierre's vinyl cut today, the Rolling Stones, It's Only Rock and Roll.
Nice.
Which is the last record with Mick Taylor.
Okay.
And it's got it's only rock and roll. If you can rock me, ain't too proud to beg. Dance Little Sister.
I love their version of Ain't Too Proud to Beg.
Yeah.
I've
It's terrific.
always thought that was a great version of that song. All right, we'll see what Matt's got in store for you, friends. I would like to take this moment to thank the fine sponsors of the Preston and Steve Show. So thank you to Dunkin' Donuts. Preston and Steve Show runs on Dunkin'. Also brought to you by Franklin Mint FCU, Federal Credit Union, empowering financial journeys for families since 1970. And also Faulkner Buick GMC. Get massive construction sales savings at Faulkner Buick GMC in Trevose and online at FaulknerBuickGMC.com to be sure. Tomorrow, it's already Wednesday, we'll have a little Fox Good Day chat with those guys. And in the studio, Christy and Bradford of Philly Mag are popping by here, and they've got some important things to tell us about, so we'll spend some time chatting with them, and we'll get in some other things, of course. That's it. We're done. Rage on and have a great day in the morning. We will see you tomorrow, friend. Bye-bye.